A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Good. Good. That's what Campbell soups are. Good.
From Hollywood, The Campbell Soup Show, starring Jack Carson. Yes, listen to Jack Carson, Freddie Martin and his orchestra, Arthur Treacher, Jack's nephew Tugwell, played by Dave Willock, little 8-year-old Norma Jean Nilsson, Irene Ryan, and yours truly, Del Charlotte. Say, maybe you haven't tried Campbell's beef noodle soup, but you surely ought to right away. As soon as you get a whiff of it, you'll know there's good eating ahead. But dip in your spoon and get the full-flavored beef taste of the hearty broth. Good. Homey egg noodles, too, steeped in the taste of beef, and lots of generous-sized pieces of beef. Yes, ma'am, here's one of Campbell's newer soups that you sure don't want to miss. In fact, once the family tastes it, they'll be asking you to have Campbell's beef noodle soup often. So let them have it soon, won't you? It's time now to look in at 22 North Hollywood Lane and see what's happening to Jack Carson.
When was it that my studio called, Treacher?
About half an hour ago, sir. They said that due to the fact that they're behind on their shooting schedule, you'll have to work on Thanksgiving Day.
Work?
Yes.
Gee, I hate to work on a holiday, but, well, maybe they know what's best.
Oh, Uncle Jack, what do you let him push you around like that for? Are you afraid you might lose your job?
Well, no, but...
You're a big important star out there. You ought to threaten to quit.
Quit?
Sure. If you're not there, who's going to be their romantic lead?
Well, yeah, that's right.
And who's going to play those big dramatic parts?
Yeah, that's right.
And who's going to simonize Mr. Warner's car?
That was only the first year of my contract. I could call them up and tell them I didn't feel well, but they'd never believe that. I'm such a perfect specimen of manhood. I guess I'd better show up there tomorrow.
Well, gee, Uncle Jack, if you're not here, it won't even seem like Thanksgiving.
I think I have a good suggestion, sir. What's wrong with having our Thanksgiving dinner today?
Say, that is a swell idea, Treacher. We can be thankful today as well as tomorrow.
Yeah, will we have turkey and everything the same as usual?
Oh, sure. Treacher, will you need anything from the store?
No, sir, I have most everything. I stocked up in anticipation of the holiday. However, we will need a bird.
Oh, of course, naturally, yes. Come on, Tugwell. We'll go down to the butcher shop and see about getting a turkey.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's go out the back way, huh? I want to see how Dennis, my rooster, is getting along.
Yeah, he sure likes that coop you built for him.
Yeah. There he is over there eating some corn. Here, Dennis. He certainly knows his name. I'm glad I thought of calling him Dennis after my friend Dennis Morgan. Look how he struts when he hears his name. This is the smartest rooster I ever saw. He walks like Dennis Morgan, and he acts like Dennis Morgan. I wonder if I could teach him to sing like Dennis Morgan.
Well, from the squawks I've heard out of that rooster, it'd be easier to teach him to sing like you.
Very funny, Tugwell. Come here, Dennis. Now stop eating that corn. I want to show Tugwell how bright you are. Now listen. One alone. Listen, Dennis, listen. One alone. Did you hear that, Tugwell?
Gee, he did it.
Sure, I'll try some more. This would be a magic world to me if you were more. If you were more.
Eat some corn, Uncle Jack.
Well, anyway, he's a very intelligent bird. We must remember to buy him some chicken feed while we're shopping.
Uncle Jack, we're not going in this butcher shop, are we? We were in here 2 weeks ago, and the prices were sky high.
Yes, I know, but I thought they might have some Thanksgiving specials. Let's go in.
Well, gee, this doesn't even look like a butcher's shop. Look how high class everything is.
Yeah. It's the first time I ever saw a chopping block trimmed in mink. Here comes the same salesman we had before.
How do you do? My name is Finley. Oh, hello there. I remember you.
Yes, I was just doing a little Thanksgiving shopping.
Fine. Now, if you'll just be seated,
Hey, look what's stopping out in front. An armored car.
Oh, yes, pardon me. This is an important occasion.
Gee, and they got 2 guards with machine guns.
Yeah, and they're throwing a red carpet across the sidewalk.
And look, here come 2 guys in gold braid with trumpets.
Please, gentlemen, stand at attention and remove your hats.
What was that all about?
That was Swift & Company delivering a half-pound of weenies.
Oh, I see.
Now, if you gentlemen will be seated on this love seat with the zebra stripes, I'll show you our merchandise.
Well, what I had in mind...
I can see that you'd only be interested in the better things, and I have something I'm sure you'd love. Here, 12 pieces of Canadian bacon arranged in an exquisite necklace design. And in the front are 2 pieces of liverwurst entwined in a lover's knot. Aren't they just gorgeous?
Yes, they are, especially on that chinchilla platter.
But I can see that you're still not pleased.
Well, no. By the way, Mr. Finley, what is it that you have displayed over there with the spotlight shining on it?
Oh, you mean in the platinum showcase?
Yes.
Of course, you've heard of the Hope Diamond?
Oh, yes.
Well, that is the famous Moskowitz salami. It was smuggled out of Russia. And if they knew we had it, would Molotov be sore and burned?
Well, Mr. Finley, we wanted something for Thanksgiving.
Of course. How about that little roast pig over there with the apple in its mouth?
Oh, yes, that roast pig with the apple. How much is that?
$47.
$47?
Yes, of course, the pig is extra.
Look, I know I'm a fool for asking this, but how much would it cost for a turkey?
Well, how much were you thinking of spending?
$2.50.
$2.50?
Yes. What can I get for that?
Do you see that little giblet lying there on the counter?
Yes.
Well, as you walk by, we'll let you feel it.
Come on, Tugwell.
Yeah, this place is too rich for our blood.
And that's just the way it was at every market I went to, Treacher. Turkeys are just too expensive.
Well, we must have some sort of a fowl, sir. It won't be Thanksgiving without one.
Well, we could have a substitute, like we did that year when things were tough. Remember those things I fixed up? They looked exactly like turkey legs.
Yes, but they didn't taste like turkey legs. After all, sir, enchiladas with feathers on them.
If you close your eyes, you can hardly tell the difference.
Mr. Carson, I have the cranberry sauce and dressing all fixed. We've just got to have a bird to roast. A nice fat one. Mr. Carson...
Treacher, the answer is no. I'm saving Dennis for my poultry business. Besides, I just happen to think Miss Ryan down at the bookstore has a friend who raises chickens. You know, the one we bought Dennis from, that Mrs. Jenkins? I've lost her address, but I'll go down there pretty soon. I'm sure that Miss Ryan can tell me exactly. Come in.
Hello, Mr. Teacher. Hello, Mr. Carson.
Hello, little one.
How are you, Norma Jean?
Fine. Gee, whatever that is you're cooking sure smells good.
Yeah, that's dressing. You see, we're having our Thanksgiving dinner one day early. Would you like to come over and eat with us?
Are you going to do the cooking?
Well, some of it, yes. We'll have roast turkey with all the fixings, and that's one dish that I'm expert on.
Well, I wouldn't say you were such an expert, sir, from the way you did it last year. It took you 3 hours to put the stuffing in the turkey.
Well, that wasn't my fault. The turkey had a very small throat. Besides, every time I got a spoonful ready, she backed away from me.
I told you that wasn't the correct way to do it, sir.
Treacher, please. Where I come from, we know all there is to know about cooking.
That reminds me, Mr. Carson. Last week you were telling me the story of the first Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes, that's right. I wasn't I?
Well, according to my history book, what you told me about the Pilgrims is wrong.
Well, I told you they landed on Plymouth Rock.
But Plymouth Rock is in Massachusetts, not Milwaukee.
Are you sure it's in Massachusetts?
Yes.
Well, since the Republicans got in, they probably moved it.
And my teacher said you must have made up that story you told me about Pocahontas.
Well, I'll explain that to you some other time, honey.
What did he tell you about Pocahontas?
Well...
Mr. Carson said the Pocahontas had a date with Miles Standish every night.
Yes, that's right.
He used to paddle her canoe up the Milwaukee River and meet him in back of his brewery.
Miles Standish had a brewery?
That's what the history books don't tell you. His full name was Miles Standish Schlitz.
Oh, I'll tell my teacher about that. I'll bet she doesn't know it.
I'll bet she doesn't either.
All right, honey, try to come over tonight if you can, huh?
Oh, I'll be here. Goodbye.
Treacher, you keep right on preparing the dinner. I'm sure Miss Ryan's friend can spare a bird for us. I'm going down to see her right now.
Very well, sir. Cheerio.
Cheerio. Thanksgiving. Boy, I'm glad I'm living. Oh, hello, Del. What are you doing over this way?
Hi, Jack. I was just looking over your fence and admiring that rooster of yours. Are you fattening him up for Thanksgiving?
Oh, no. No, not that rooster, Del, but we are going to have chicken. I was just going down to Miss Ryan's to see about it.
Well, Jack, I'm walking that way. I'll walk along with you.
Good.
So, you know, Jack, it ought to be a great Thanksgiving this year. People have a lot to be thankful for.
Yes, they certainly have, Del.
Just think, back in the old days, if the Pilgrims wanted a turkey, they had to go out and shoot it with a bow and arrow. But nowadays, there's plenty of meat.
Yeah. All you have to do is shoot the butcher with a bow and arrow. By the way, Del, what are you having for dinner on Thanksgiving?
Oh, the usual thing, turkey and stuff like that.
Yes, I know, but what are you starting the meal with?
Oh, just a word of thanks.
I know this can't last. What I mean is, what's the very first thing you'll have with a meal? You know, it starts with C.
Oh, sure. Celery.
Yeah. Del, I think you'd better say something about you-know-what, or we'll both have our Thanksgiving dinner you-know-where.
Why, Jack, what are you trying to say anyway?
Del, when I said how are you going to start your meal, I thought you would say with Campbell's beef noodle soup.
Oh, naturally, we're going to start off with Campbell's beef noodle, but there's no reason to mention it.
There isn't?
No. Everybody knows that Campbell's beef noodle soup is an unbeatable invitation to any meal.
Oh, pardon me, all the pieces.
You know, I don't understand you, Jack. You think that all I ever talked about was soup.
Well, isn't it?
Well, no. There are lots of things in the world besides Campbell's soup.
Del, what you said!
Well, for example, this is a beautiful afternoon. Well, just look up there at those beautiful clouds in the sky. What a pretty formation.
Mm-hmm.
Why, they're delicious. They look almost good enough to eat.
Here it comes.
Yep, they sure are beautiful clouds.
Huh? Oh, Del, forgive me. I misjudged you. I thought you were going to say that so many clouds reminded you of the many generous-sized pieces of good lean beef that Campbell's use in their beef noodle soup.
You did?
Yeah.
That's silly.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Well, even though Campbell's do put lots of tender pieces of beef in their noodle soup, the clouds wouldn't remind me of that.
They wouldn't?
No. But with the sun shining on them, those clouds do remind me of the golden egg noodles.
It's no use. You can't win.
Yes, Campbell's beef noodle soup is thick with homey egg noodles. And wait till you get a whiff of that good beef aroma. You'll say, good, and you'll come back for more.
Well, Del, I turn off right here. I'll see you later. Huh?
Okay, Jack, I hope you get that chicken you're going after.
So do I. So long.
A moment now with the magic music of Freddie Martin. Here are the Martin Men and My Heart Goes Crazy.
simply pass the time of day? Do you have to smile at me that way? My heart goes crazy. It goes bumpty bump bump. Can't we just shake hands and feel at ease? Do you have to give that extra squeeze? My heart goes crazy. It goes bumpty bump bump bump. My doctor told me this has got to stop. He never heard a beat like hippity hippity hop. When the conversation's going fine, must you get your lips so close to mine? My heart goes crazy. It goes bumpty bump bump. What'll I do? You got me, 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 you got me crazy too.
Gee, I hope Miss Ryan is in her store. She's got the address of that Mrs. Jenkins who raises chickens.
Oh, hello there, Mr. Carson.
Hello, Miss Ryan. Say, I lost the address of that woman who has the chickens for sale.
Oh, you mean Mrs. Jenkins?
Mm-hmm.
She lives at 445 Maple Street.
445 Maple. Thank you, Miss Ryan.
Is that all you wanted to know?
Yes, thank you, Miss Ryan.
Don't you want to know how I feel?
How you feel?
Yes. A woman could be ready to die and nobody would ask her how she felt.
Oh, I am sorry. How are you feeling, Miss Ryan?
Oh, I guess I'm about as well as could be expected.
Well, that's good. Or is it? I mean, I don't know.
No, it isn't. I just seem to be cold all the time.
Yes, well, I've got to go over and see about getting a chicken.
It all began about a week ago. I started shivering and shaking all the time.
Yes. Well, I've got to go over...
I went to 6 doctors, but they didn't do me any good. I was still cold.
Still cold, huh? Well, I've got to go over and see about getting a chicken.
Then I went to another doctor, and he found out what was causing it. Now I'm not cold anymore.
What did he give you? Give you some pills?
No, a suit of long underwear.
That's good. Now you're warm and everything is fine, huh?
No, it isn't. Now I've got the itch.
Yes. Well, I've got to go over and see about getting
Of course, I could stand that, but it seems like I'm tired all the time.
Well, I've got to go over and see about getting
I bet I climb those stairs to the balcony 30 times a day, up and down, down and up and down.
Well, I've got to go over and see about getting
down and up and up and down.
I've got to go over and see about getting
A woman came in yesterday and wanted to buy some potted plants. And they're up on the balcony.
Potted plants are on the balcony, huh? Well, I've got to go over and see about...
I brought down a geranium, but she didn't like it. She wanted to know if I had a trailing arbutus. I told her if she climbed those stairs as many times as I did.
Yes, yes. I've got to go over and see Mrs. Jenkins about a chicken for Thanksgiving. See you later, Miss Ryan. But when I got to Mrs. Jenkins' Treacher, she didn't have one chicken left. They were all sold.
It's getting late, Mr. Carson. If you procrastinate any longer, there won't be any dinner.
Yeah, Uncle Jack, I'm getting hungry.
All right, so am I, but what are we going to do?
There's only one thing to do, sir. There's that rooster of yours out in the backyard.
You mean Dennis? You mean eat Dennis?
Certainly, sir. Since you purchased him, he's been nothing but a liability. $1 a pound for feed. He doesn't lay eggs.
You see, I know all of that. Well, maybe you're right. I hate to sacrifice him, though.
Oh, so there's no use being soft-hearted about it?
Soft-hearted? Who's soft-hearted? I'll go out there right now and stand there while you kill him.
Oh, no, sir. You bought the rooster and you finish him off.
Sure, don't be a sissy, Uncle Jack. Here's the hatchet. It's all sharpened.
Hatchet? Gee, we don't have to kill him that way, do we?
Well, sure. How else?
Well, it's so deliberate. If he has to die, I'd like him to think it was accidental. Maybe I could get him to try to cross Sunset Boulevard.
Uncle Jack, you're just stalling.
Yes, sir. Now take the hatchet and go out there and get it over with.
All right. I'm going. Don't push me, fellas. Oh, there he is. I'll hold the hatchet in back of me. No use getting him all upset. Here, Dennis. Here, Dennis. He's staying away from me. Here, Dennis. Come on over here and see what Uncle Jack has got for you. Gee, I feel like a criminal. Why did I have to name him after Dennis Morgan anyway? This is like bumping off my best friend. Oh, gee. Gee, he even remembered one alone. No, don't look at me with those blue eyes, Dennis. Why didn't I name him Humphrey? Would have been a pleasure then. Oh, here he comes now. That's a good rooster. Now, look, Dennis. I want to talk to you man to man. Yes. Look, I've got some bad news for you, and I hope it won't come as a shock. Did your father ever tell you about the facts of life? You know, about chestnut dressing and pressure cookers? I wish he'd stop looking at me. Yeah, well, I don't know how to say this, but Dennis, you're going on a long trip. You're going to Rooster Heaven. That's right, heaven. You have led a clean life, haven't you? You'll be happy there. The barnyards are lined with gold, and there's harp music and chicken every Sunday. Oh, no, I didn't mean that, Dennis. Now, come on over here, Dennis. Just put your head down on this piece of wood like that and quit looking at me. Oh, gee, he trusts me like a mother. Gosh, I can't do this so suddenly. It seems so heartless. Somebody ought to say a few words or something. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to I just can't go through with it, that's all. Dennis, you're more than a rooster to me. I can't do it.
What's taking you so long, Uncle Jack? Haven't you chopped his head off yet?
No, and I'm not going to do it either.
Well, then take him down and let the butcher do it.
Oh, no, I can't. Wait a minute. That does give me an idea, though. I could take Dennis down alive and trade him for a chicken that's already dressed. That way I won't feel so guilty. Come on, Dennis. We're going out of the butcher shop right now. So, will that be okay with you, mister?
Sure, if you want to trade that live rooster for a dressed chicken, it's all right with me. Here's a fat hen all ready to cook.
Okay. Goodbye, Dennis. Oh, mister.
Yeah?
You won't hurt him, will you?
No, I don't hurt him. I just take him by the neck in me two hands and...
You mean...
Yeah, it's all over in a second.
Oh, I'm a criminal. I'm a low-down, black-hearted skunk. I shouldn't be allowed to stay in the same world with decent roosters. Goodbye, Dennis.
Well, sir, shall I begin preparing this hen you brought home? Mr. Carson, I said, shall I begin preparing this hen you brought home?
Oh, I just don't care.
Gee, Uncle Jack, was that butcher you took Dennis to a real tough guy?
Oh, yes. Absolutely, without any feeling whatsoever.
I'm not hungry now. I've lost my appetite.
I never thought I'd feel this way, sir, but I missed the little fellow, too.
Richard, please, let's just not discuss it any longer, shall we?
He never did anybody any harm. He didn't deserve to die.
Oh, Pritchard, please.
When I think how he used to take the corn right out of my hand. He was so innocent and trusting.
Pritchard, you're crying into the dressing.
Yes, sir, but it needs a little salt.
Gee, right about now, I'll bet that butcher's got Dennis stretched out on the chopping block.
Tugwell, please.
Yeah, he'll lop his head off.
Tugwell, please.
Gee, and just when you were teaching him to sing One Alone.
Yes, and he sang it just like Dennis Morgan does. Flat.
Yeah. And now he's going to have his throat cut.
Oh, I can't stand it any longer. Pritchard, give me my hat. I'm going back to the butcher and see if I can get Dennis back. Oh, I hope I'm not too late.
So do I, sir. Hurry, sir.
Well, this isn't the traditional thing to have for Thanksgiving dinner, but they aren't bad with cranberry sauce on them.
Yeah, they're pretty good flapjacks.
I don't mind, sir. Somehow I like it better this way.
Yes, so do I. Would you like another flapjack, Norma Jean?
Yes, I'd like one.
Okay, there you are. How about you, Tugwell?
Sure, I'll have another.
Okay, there. And, Pritchard?
Yes, sir. I could eat another.
Okay. How about you? Would you like a little more syrup on yours? It's a good day for singing a song, and it's a good day for moving along. Yes, it's a good day. How could anything go wrong? A good day from morning till night.
Yes, it's a good day for shining your shoes, and it's a good day for losing the blues. Everything to gain and nothing to lose, 'cause it's a good day from morning till night.
I said to the sun, good morning, sun, rise and shine today.
You know you gotta get going if you're gonna make a showing.
And you know you've got the right of way.
'Cause it's a good day for paying your bills.
And it's a good day for curing your ills.
So take a deep breath and throw away your pills.
'Cause it's a good day.
Yes, it's a good day.
Yes, it's a good day from morning till night.
Jack Carson will be back in just a moment. Tell me, have you tried Campbell's beef noodle soup? Everyone who has says it's delicious, and you will too. It's made from plenty of lean beef, simmered long and slowly for a hearty, full-flavored beef stock. Then golden egg noodles are added, and lots of generous pieces of beef. Good. Yes, and Campbell's beef noodle soup is plenty hearty and nourishing too. You'll find that together with a sandwich and a glass of milk, it makes a grand school day lunch for the youngsters. And wait till you see Dad smile at supper time when he dips into a savory plateful and gets that good beef taste. You'll find there'll be lots of times when meal getting is a simple, easy business with Campbell's beef noodle soup on hand. Remember to put it on your market list and keep it on your shelf. That's Campbell's beef noodle soup.
Good. Good. That's what Campbell's soups are.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
My. Very gay.
The Roma Wine Show, starring Charlie Ruggles, Mary Astor, and Misha Auer. Yes, it's the Thursday night Roma Wine Show, brought to you by the Roma Wine Company of Fresno, California. And stepping down from the screen to greet you in person is Roma's hostess. Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Astor.
everybody. On behalf of Roma Wine, welcome to our Thursday night show. On hand to make it a great evening, we have the sensational singing combination of the Pied Pipers. Misha Auer will delve into his past for another of those fabulous adventures. And Charlie Ruggles produces a Thanksgiving play with the aid of Mrs. Snavely and his neighborhood friends. So plan to spend this half hour with us. And meet the two stars of our show, Charlie Ruggles and Misha Auer. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Misha.
Hello, Mary. Greetings, my little fluffy ruffled petunia. You know, Mary, I was just thinking, these American sailors of ours are great guys.
The greatest in the world, Charlie.
Oh, boy. Up in Hollywood Boulevard the other day, a couple of them spotted two pretty girls walking along with two shore patrols, see? And one sailor said to the other, hey, boy, get a look at what's coming over the horizon. Two nifty little destroyers. And the other one said, yeah, but look what's with them. Minesweepers.
Yeah, look who is talking about the Navy. The closest you ever got to the ocean was saltwater taffy.
Now, wait. Now, just a minute, you Russian beanpole. You were never in the Navy either, you know.
Oh, yes, I was. In fact, they were going to make me a Commodore until they heard my humor.
Then what did they do?
They made me a humidor.
You know, Mary, our new housekeeper has a husband in the Navy. He's on a submarine chaser. And boy, the things she's learned from him.
What do you mean, Charlie?
Well, every morning, instead of knocking on my door to wake me up, she throws a depth charge over the transom.
Oh, man, the lifeboats. Here's Bud Duskin and his swell Roma Wine Orchestra to open our show with an old favorite, Back Home Again in Indiana. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Frank Martin, the young man who says...
I speak for Roma. Now that the chill days of fall are here and the colder days of winter are just ahead, it's a good thing to sip a glass of wine of an evening for warm, contenting relaxation. And make it Roma wine, friends. Roma wine from the sunny summer valleys and hillsides of California, nature's most favorite of all the world's vineyard gardens. You'll find Roma California wines the perfect expression of the old world art of winemaking, plus the extra care, the constant testing and tasting our modern knowledge has added to that ageless art. Roma wines will meet your personal test, your eye test for clarity, your nose test for bouquet or aroma, and your palate test for satisfying, pleasant taste. Yes, Roma California wines bring you sunbeams from warm valleys for your cool fall and winter evenings. But keep one thing always in mind when you buy wine. Remember, the name of our wine is Roma. R-O-M-A, the four-letter name that brings you four fundamentals of complete wine satisfaction. Roma wines are true to type. Roma wines are faithful in flavor. Roma wines are sound of character. Roma wines are reasonable in cost. No wonder America's largest selling wines are Roma.
The Roma Wine Show presents the memoirs of Misha the Magnificent.
Again, the soft warbling of the night birds heralds the approach of evening. And once again, Misha the Magnificent arises to mold another of his adventures into a thrilling climax. Let's listen to one of these moldy adventures.
The Memoirs of Misha the Magnificent. Wild Animal Edition. Title of chapter: How I, Misha, delivered stew to the GNU in the zoo when I was 2. Or, że nie prechce, nie psanie, Kryknkiewicz, with elephant. New paragraph. Even as a small child, I was fond of the animals and tried my best to be like them. In this I succeeded, for as a boy I was always barefooted, bull-headed, and hog-wild. With a little practice, I also learned the language of the birds and was soon able to talk turkey. As I grew to manhood, I became intensely interested in the creatures of the forest. And it was Papa who told me that I had just the right appearance to handle dangerous wild animals. Or, as he put it,
Misha, with that face, you ought to be in a zoo.
What an inspiration these words were from Papa. Soon I found myself in the office of the keeper of the zoo. Keeper, I said, I am Misha, the explorer, the discoverer, the bringer back.
Good. We've been looking for someone like you, an explorer, a discoverer, and a bringer back.
You have?
Yes. Go explore the zoo. If you discover any dirt, sweep it up, and when you're through with the broom, bring her back.
With these kind, encouraging words, I made up my mind to go to the jungle in search of an animal that was rare. I'd even settle for something medium rare. Accordingly, I began my journey and got a lower on a Pullman coach. Funny thing, it was lower than the coach. All night long, I could hear the clicking of the wheels. Roma South, Roma South, Roma South, Roma South. From here to the waiting ship was but a short jump. I missed the jump. The sun came up early, and when I awoke, I was on board the ship bound for the jungles of Africa. The first night out, I met shy, demure Clarissa. We passed on the deck. Hello, I said, throwing her a sidelong glance.
Good evening.
She said, throwing me a left hook. A beautiful friendship had begun. Stepping close to her, I said, I am Misha.
So what?
I'd like to know you better.
So what?
Footnote. She kept swatting me all over the place. On footnote. Growing tired of this, we struck up a conversation.
Misha, if you're really a big game hunter, what are you doing here?
Well, the police closed up all the big games. Captivated by her girlish beauty, I offered her a motion picture career.
You'll have to ask Mother.
Where is Mother, child?
In the stateroom, waving her hair.
What's the matter? Can't she afford a flag?
Here comes Mother now.
As she approached me, I could see that this child's mother was a woman of culture and elegance. She was the real mid-Victorian type, a dainty little woman with high lace collar and a lorgnette. Pardon me, ma'am, I said. I would like to guide your daughter's career. She lifted her lorgnette to her eyes, and in a voice reminiscent of good breeding and social background, she replied,
Lay off of my daughter, Joyce. I'll bring up that sprout.
Please, madam, let me bring up that sprout.
Take a pot of chowderhead. I'll bring up that sprout.
Now, my dear lady, let's not get raucous.
Raucous, schmocus. Lay off of that sprout or I'll paste you one.
Footnote. I never saw them again, for they went south for the Hangnail Festival. And I rode to Brussels for another sprout. On footnote. The next day, we stopped at a desert island off the coast of Africa. I was talking to the captain. Captain, why are we stopping here?
Here, Misha, here I take on food. I take on water, and I take on freight.
You take on all these things? What do you put off?
You!
Like Robinson Crusoe, I thought I was alone on this desert island until one day I saw the tattered figure of a man approaching. Behind him were 3 little tots. Could this be? I trembled in anticipation as I asked him, Pardon me, are you Robinson Crusoe's man Friday?
No, I followed him. I'm Saturday.
Well, who are those 3 children?
Sunday, Monday, and always.
There were no peculiar animals on this island, so I decided to cross the water to the mainland, Africa. I left the next day by turtle. I was on this turtle for so long that I finally turned turtle. The next thing I knew, I was in the jungles of Africa. Here, at last, I knew I would find the rare animal I sought to bring back. Suddenly, I heard the thump of heavy footsteps. Then the bushes parted.
Goodbye, Bush. So long, Bush.
And out of the bushes stepped the largest, most ferocious savage imaginable. His face was hideously painted, and he wore a necklace of human skulls, while on his giant shoulder was slung a limp rhinoceros. He saw me and stopped. His eyes bulged, and his shaggy face contorted horribly. In a thunderous, earth-shaking voice, he roared,
I am a savage beast. Honest, I am. Honest.
Savage beast, I asked him, have you seen any peculiar animals around here?
Oh, yeah. Yesterday I saw a grunk.
A grunt? What's a grunk?
That's an animal that has a head like a giraffe, a body like a lion, and an appetite like a horse.
Good. Where is it? Where is it?
My mama gave me an aspirin tablet, and it went away.
And then one day I saw that which I had come to find. Before me stood the strangest animal I've ever seen. It looked like a cow, but it couldn't be. It had no horns. Quickly I captured it and boarded the next boat back to America. I knew it would be acclaimed at last. Proudly I stood before the zookeeper with my prize.
What have you there, Misha?
Sir, I had here the rarest animal in the world, a cow without horns. What an object to study. Maybe science can discover why this cow has no horns.
Well, that's very simple, Misha. This happens to be a horse. The end.
Someday the boys in the little white coats will come and take Misha away from us forever. Right now, we turn to more serious business. Meaning, of course, the Pied Pipers. This swell vocal group has whipped up a nifty little tune which seems to be doing all right across the network. It's called I Dug a Ditch.
I was just a cowboy on a ranch in old Wyoming till ambition got a hold of me one day. So I packed my duds and started roaming from Wyoming, and now this is why I'm glad I went away. I dug a ditch, and I struck it rich down in Wichita. Yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yay, and I made it pay in Wichita. I could keep on digging like I've been digging before.
Now I'm feeling so hot, diggity.
I want something more. I've got an itch just to leave that ditch. I want to go back to Marine who stuck to me before I dug a ditch and struck it rich in Wichita. Keep on digging like I dug it before. Now I'm feeling so hot, diggity, I want to get something more. I've got an itch like to leave that ditch. Want to go back to Marine, stuck to me before I dug a ditch and struck it rich in Wichita.
Very well, indeed. Now, Frank Martin, prepare our listeners for what is about to happen.
Charlie Ruggles has written another play. What a very special play, ladies and gentlemen. The annual Thanksgiving presentation of the San Fernando Fish and Chowder Club. We find producer Ruggles suffering with laryngitis tonight, hard at work backstage.
You know, Gene, Mary, I sure am enthused about my play. And I don't know when I've seen you so excited.
Oh, it's just that I love being backstage, Charlie. There's a certain air about backstage of the theater.
Yeah, isn't there? Especially when it's a fish and chowder club, you know. Look what I'm wearing to it tonight, Mary. Look at it. Isn't it pretty? Pilgrim shoes with buckles on them and knee breeches. And look, here's the hat.
Well, Charlie, the costume's authentic, all except the hat.
Well, I've got to explain that to you, Mary. You see, we have a big Thanksgiving dinner scene, and the Brown Derby restaurant donated the food.
Uh-huh.
And, of course, I promised in return, as a hint to the audience, I'd wear this hat.
Oh, well, that was very nice of them to provide the food just in exchange for you wearing a Brown Derby.
Yeah.
You must be a pretty good customer.
Oh, I practically live in there. And some days I hardly find time to run home and eat, you know.
Why, Charlie, don't you ever spend any money in there?
Why, certainly I do. Why, only last Friday night I bought dinner for a party of 22.
A party of 22? That must have cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, you're not kidding. She ate like a horse. I have to laugh at that myself, Mary, you know. You know, Mary, since I'm Captain John Smith in this play, you know, and you're going to be Pocahontas, there's one embarrassing thing, Mary.
What's that?
Well, at the end of the play, right after we're married, I hold you tight, you know, and I close my eyes like this, and then I pucker up my lips and... Why, Mary, you kissed me.
No, I didn't, Charlie.
Well, it must have been a figment of my imagination.
No, I'm Mrs. Snavely, your next-door neighbor.
Mrs. Snavely, please, what was the idea of kissing me?
Well, you were standing there with your eyes closed, and I hate to see a good pucker go to waste.
Well, Mrs. Snavely, as a favor to me, please don't do it again. Now, what is it you want here?
Well, I'm an actress, and I want to be in the play.
No, I'm awfully sorry, Mrs. Snavely, but there's nothing for you in it. I can't.
You've got to let me be in the play. Don't forget, I'm the head of the Chowder Club.
Mrs. Snavely, chowder head or not, there's no part for you.
I'm not a chowder head. I'm head of the club.
All right, club head, then.
That's better.
But I'll tell you what you can do, Mrs. Snavely. You can prepare the food for the big Thanksgiving dinner scene. How's that?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ruggles. I'm a good cook. That's how I met Mr. Snavely.
Is that so? You mean you were childhood sweethearts?
Yes. He used to carry my pots home from cooking school.
Now, isn't that thoughtful? That was wonderful of him, you know. Of course, lots of marriages are potluck, Mrs. Snavely, you know. Well, goodbye, Mrs. S.
Goodbye, Mr. R.
Well, Mary, I think everything's set up, so I'm going home. I'm going home while the orchestra rehearses, you see. Now, don't forget curtain at 8:30, Mary.
I'll be there with bells on.
No, feathers. You're playing an Indian, remember? All right, start the orchestra, boys.
While Charlie is getting his big Thanksgiving play ready, I'd like to tell you about a card I had from one of our listeners last week, which I believe is definitely worth answering on the air. This lady says, Miss Astor, I understand that you explained certain rules for serving wine recently. I'm especially sorry I missed the Roma wine show that night, because I'd like to know your answers about the proper glassware and table linen to use. Well, very briefly, let me repeat the answers. You don't need fancy glassware to enjoy the goodness of Roma, California wines. Elegant glassware may flatter the beautiful colors a bit more, but the flavor will be the same in any glass. You don't need fancy linens either. Roma wines are just as thoroughly enjoyed on tables covered with checkered cloth as with the rarest of lace or linen. You don't have to worry about which type of wine is correct either. Select the type you like the best, either red or white. And whichever you choose, you know you can serve it for only a few cents a glass.
And, Mary, we can all remember that Roma wines are delicious. Roma wines are suitable on any table. Roma wines are economical to serve.
Indeed, yes, Frank, always. For fine wines at reasonable cost, say Roma. Now, Frank Martin, the big moment is here. Set the stage, please.
A sturdy band of pilgrims in Plymouth, New England were exhausted on that memorable November day. exhausted from starvation and privation, tired from war with the Indians. So their stalwart leader, Captain John Smith, played by Charlie Ruggles, went to the Indian chief and pleaded for his people. Curtain, music.
I beggest of thou, strong warrior, take me to thy chief.
Me tired. All day stand in front of cigar store.
And what dost thou do in front of cigar store?
Me say, LS, MFT.
Well, what do you know of commercial Indians? Oh, here comes Chief Sitting Bull now.
Ugh.
Ugh. Please, mighty war chief, make your braves spare my people.
Ugh.
There's no reason why us thouest and meest cannot be friendses. Is there us?
Ugh.
Why dost thou keep saying ugh?
Again, boom, da-da-da.
Now, wait a minute. Now, you cut that out, Frank. This isn't a musical, you know. White man come to offer hand in friendship. And what is that?
That Minnie ha-ha.
My goodness, she sounds like she must be sitting on her feathers or something. Oh, Big Cheese, Big Chief, your tribe has been burning white men at the stake. Canst thou do something about this?
Me tell 'em tribe go easy on stake. Red man, no red points.
Meanest thou that thou will make peace?
I spare life of your people if you marry my daughter Pocahontas and raise many brave.
Ah, but Chief, it will take me much time to make a decision like that.
Much better marry Pocahontas now. Have papoose before Pearl Harbor.
Wait. Here cometh a messenger from my people. What is thou message bearest thou? Thee?
Thy women are weeping from hunger. Thy children are crying from hunger.
Yeah, and your acting is from hunger, too. But alas and alack, I must save my people. So perhaps I shall wed Pocahontas.
Wilt thou?
I wilt thou. I shall ride back and announce the news to my people. Mighty war chief, friend Alvin, go fetch Pocahontas.
Pocahontas?
The name is Pocahontas. Now stop clowning, will you, Alvin? Never mind her last name. It shall be changed. As of tomorrow, we shall be known as John Smith and wife.
Oh, I know them.
No, these aren't the same people, that's all. Stick to the play, will you, please?
Maybe I can ride back to the village and get help, Captain Smith.
No, but these hills are filled with bloodthirsty redskins.
That's all right. I'm anemic.
Alvin, I never asked a man to do anything I wouldn't do, and I wouldn't do anything, so good luck, Alvin.
Wait 'em, Pasty Face.
Why?
No need send help. Red man make peace. But first, white man meet 'em Pocahontas. Oh, Pokey!
Coming, Father.
Well, taketh Pokey so long. What taketh Pokey so long to get here?
She's slow, Pokey.
You call me Big Chief?
Yeah, Pokey meet Smitty.
How?
How?
White man ask for hand in marriage.
I give white man hand in marriage.
Thank you, but don't unscrew it. Just bring it with you.
This Pocahontas is good friend Alvin. He be best man.
Greetings, friend Alvin.
How is thou?
He best man?
Well, that's the best we could get for $5. All the good actors are working, you know. Come, Alvin and Pocahontas. We shall get on my horse and ride back to my people.
But can a horse run far with 3 people on his back?
3 men on horse run many years.
3 men on horse have talent, not pale-face Indians. Gideous Yap, White Steed. Gideous Yap.
afternoon, we find Captain John Smith in the Pilgrim Settlement, ready to announce his engagement to Pocahontas.
Good friend Barney, I fear me. I am very nervous about my engagement.
Have you ever been engaged before, Captain Smith?
Aye, 6 times.
All told?
No, one keepeth her mouth shut.
Very good, Captain. Thou art in good spirit.
Yea, tonight findeth Captain Smith sharper than a plate of soybeans.
Yes.
Now away with thee, friend Barney. I see Pocahontas approaching from the distance, and notice the beautiful picture as she walks near, covered in a glorious veil of feathers. Oh, why dost thou hide behind those feathers, Pocahontas?
I'm not Pocahontas. I'm Mrs. Snavely, your next-door neighbor.
Mrs. Snavely, what are you doing out here on this stage?
I'm setting the table for the big Thanksgiving dinner scene.
Well, what's the idea of wearing one of our Indian costumes?
This isn't an Indian costume. I got all full of feathers cleaning the turkey.
Well, all right. Now get back and watch the food. It has to be returned to the Brown Derby at 8 o'clock. You understand?
I will do as to so as.
Yeah. All right. Just get back to the kitchen, Mrs. S. Now where? Where's Pocahontas now?
Here, by thy side forever, Captain Smith.
Well, what took you so long?
I was shopping for a bridle, goon.
Pardon me, Mary. That's bridal gown, not goon.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Captain Smith!
Hey!
Captain Smith!
Hey!
The Indians are coming.
The Indians is coming?
Yes, look. Look, Captain, they bring us food.
Ah, so they do. And here comes Big Chief, Warrior Chief now. Greetings, Warrior Chief.
Captain Smith, me keep word. My tribe bring food, and me make peace offering of fruits, candies, and nuts.
For us?
Yes. I bring fruit to women, candies to children.
Yes.
And nuts to you.
Now listen, I told you that's not in the script there now. Oh, mighty Warrior Chief, we express our gratitude. And what prompted thy to do all this?
Big Chief's whole powwow. Decide lend-lease.
Hey, Captain Smith.
Hey!
Our people are at the dinner table waiting for the food to be served.
Excellent. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse.
White man psychic.
Right here, Captain Smith, at the head of the table.
I thankest thee. Before we partakest of our Thanksgiving dinner, I wish to make an announcement. Hey, wait a minute. Where's the food? Mrs. Snavely! Mrs. Snavely!
Yes, Mr. Ruggles.
Well, what happened to the food?
Mr. Ruggles, the food won't be ready in time.
Won't be ready in time, but this is the big scene.
I know, but I can't stuff the turkey.
What do you mean you can't stuff the turkey?
I can't get him to open his mouth.
Well, don't worry about it, Mrs. Snavely. This play is the biggest turkey anyone would want for Thanksgiving. So good night, folks.
You're not kidding, Charlie. There's the song that says good night until next Thursday night and another Roma wine show. Charlie and Misha, I hope you two have patched up your differences.
Oh, sure, Mary. We were just kidding, weren't we, Charlie?
Why, of course. Hey, Misha, let's have dinner tomorrow night.
Wonderful. Where'll we eat?
Well, you eat at your house and I'll eat at my house.
I'll tell him when he comes in.
That's all. Until next week, this is Mary Astor saying good night.
Mary Astor appears courtesy Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Miss Hour courtesy of 20th Century Fox. Charlie Ruggles will soon be seen in the Paramount picture, Our Hearts Were Young and Gay. This is Frank Martin speaking for the Roma Wine Company of Fresno, California, and inviting you to tune in again next Thursday for another Roma Wine Show. Remember, before you buy wine, buy war bonds and stamps. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Company of Wilmington, Delaware, makers of better things for better living through chemistry, presents the Cavalcade of America, featuring a special Thanksgiving broadcast, The Path of Praise. Our star, Walter Hamden.
As the colors of autumn streamed down the wind, scarlet in sumac and maple, spun gold in the birches, the splendor of smoldering fire in the oaks along the hill, and the last leaves flutter away and the dusk falls briefly, we are stirred and made to ponder the infinite goodness that has set apart for us in all the moving mystery of creation a time of living and a home. So wrote the late Dr. Wilbur L. Cross, governor of Connecticut, in his famous Thanksgiving proclamation. The governor was following an American tradition of 300 years standing, and the history of that tradition down the years is the theme of tonight's cavalcade drama. This is the history of Thanksgiving. When our exiled fathers crossed the sea, when the pilgrims came, they did not come as one body in spirit. There was dissension and disunity aboard the Mayflower. Privation and near mutiny afloat, and a dreadful winter ashore preceded the first Thanksgiving. Half of the little company met death of a pestilence in that first winter. At one time, only 6 men were well enough to stand, walk about, and care for the rest. When spring came, there were 51 left, men and women and children. Now, the first summer is over. In the common house, which has served as council chamber and hospital, 1 man and 1 boy remain. By the boy's cot, the man sits writing.
Master Bradford?
Yes, Charles.
Why are you always writing?
Oh, because I'm still overweak to hold corn, lad, or you wood, or draw water. So I tend the sick and scribble words.
I'm feeling better this morning. It's so much cooler now. Could I not leave my bed, Master?
We shall see.
Would you read me what you're writing?
It's a letter to our brethren still in England and Holland. How it'll reach them, God only knows.
Then perhaps you might read it for me?
Oh, surely. I have written, we set the last spring some 20 acres of Indian corn and sowed some 6 acres of barley and peas. Our corn did prove well, God be praised, and our barley indifferent good. But our peas were not worth the gathering. Our harvest being gotten in, our governor sent 4 men fowling, so that we might, after a more special manner, rejoice together in Thanksgiving.
What's that? That noise?
And Captain Miles Standish and his men. Part of the rejoicing. They're drilling to make a show for the Indians.
Indians? Are the Indians right here in the village? Master Bradford, you hear that?
Quiet, lad. 'Tis but a salute to impress the savages with our strength at arms.
But if there are Indians
Well,
there,
they came in peace. Governor Carver invited their chiefs to come for our day of Thanksgiving today. But Massasoit brought 90 of his braves to the rejoicing. 90?
How can they be given food when there's scarce enough for us?
Well, the savages, seeing they'd caused us embarrassment, sent hunters out to kill game. They brought back 5 deer. And our own fowlers, too, had great good fortune. Ah, there'll be a fine feast this evening.
A feast? And me not there?
We shall have venison, lad, and roast duck, and roast goose, baked clams, eels, cornbread, leeks, watercress, wild... Yes?
I am well now. Oh, surely I am well. And, Master, I am most horribly hungry.
Well, let me touch your forehead. And your wrist. Why, fever is quite gone, I do
I
believe.
have not yet seen an Indian, Master. And I am hungry. Oh, may I go? Please, may I go?
Yes, Giles, I do believe you're well again. You may go. Your clothes are in the locker. Giles!
Yes, Master?
Do not forget to give thanks that you are well again.
Oh, no, Master. I'll not forget.
Before the feasting, Giles. Before the feast.
To be sure. Are you not coming also?
When I finish my writing. God go with you, lad. So young. So young. Let me see. This day of Thanksgiving, the last of our number who was stricken with a great sickness, a lad of 12 years, did fully shake off his fever and is well again. And so, by much suffering, we are become one body, cleaving each to the other in sickness or joy. And although our fare be not always so plentiful, yet by the goodness of God, we are so far from want that we often wish you also were partakers of our plenty.
Gradually, the Thanksgiving custom spread through New England. But it remained for more than a century entirely a New England tradition. The first Thanksgiving Day, celebrated by men from all the colonies, occurred a few months before those colonies became the 13 original states. Our scene, the headquarters of General George Washington at Cambridge during the siege of Boston, shortly after Washington's arrival from Virginia to take command in 1775. The general is dictating letters to his adjutant, Colonel Joseph Reed.
And would you go over that for me, Colonel?
Yes, sir. The general expressly forbids any person to bathe in the nude at or near the bridge in Cambridge, where it has been observed and complained of that many men, lost to all sense of common modesty, are running about naked upon the bridge, whilst ladies of the first fashion in the neighborhood are passing over it.
That is correct. See that a copy is supplied to each of the regimental and company commanders.
Yes, sir.
I see you smile. No doubt General Gage would laugh aloud if he knew that I wasted my time on such unmilitary matters. But we must somehow teach these ruffians to act as soldiers.
There is much General Gage doesn't know, sir.
Yes, fortunately. If he knew our state, he'd march out on the morrow and scatter us to the four winds.
Yes, sir.
The reports are just coming in, Reed. We have no powder. 36 barrels for an army of 16,000. Colonel Gridley's artillery boasts of 9 field pieces and no ammunition. We have no uniforms, no experienced officers, and no discipline whatever.
Well, sir, men from different colonies have different customs, different habits. They've never learned to work together or think alike.
By heaven, they must learn.
I've heard, sir, that you provided some of them with a something good lesson yesterday evening.
Oh, it's an episode I'd as soon forget, Colonel.
I haven't heard the details, sir. There are many conflicting stories about the camp.
Why, the thing was simple enough. Colonel Glover's Massachusetts troops saw fit to pick a quarrel with Morgan's Virginia riflemen. Having no uniforms themselves, the Yankees pretended to take a fancy to the fringed buckskins the Virginia lads are wearing. After a deal of name-calling, fists began to fly, and in a matter of minutes, 1,000 men were at each other's throats.
You took steps, sir?
Yes, I did. When I reached the scene, I seized 2 of the ringleaders, each by the neck, and I knocked their heads together with considerable force.
Good.
And I gave the rest of them a tongue-lashing. I hope, Colonel, the language I used has not become a matter of common gossip.
Well, it is said that you were not, overly gentle, sir.
I've learned over many years to keep a tight rein on my temper. But these people, Colonel, if only there was some manner of action I could take short of knocking their heads together, if only I could make them see that we are one country now, that we must forget these provincial quarrels and work together as a nation must.
General, sir, I have a suggestion. Yes? It's a small thing in itself, but it might help in the matter you're trying to mend. By all means, Reed. Well, sir, it appears that here in Massachusetts, the people celebrate each autumn a feast of Thanksgiving. Oh? The day is set aside by proclamation of the colonial legislature. Now, a copy of this year's announcement arrived this morning, addressed to you, sir. Here it is.
Yes, and what do you suggest?
Let the Army join in the celebration, sir. All of it. Not just the New Englanders. Everyone, north and south. A day of prayer and feasting for all the troops.
If they pray together, then perhaps they'll fight together, eh?
It might help a little, sir.
It might. It might. Very well, Colonel. We'll do it now. Let me copy this down.
Yes, sir.
To the troops of the provinces of North America. The Honorable Legislator of this colony, having seen fit to set apart Thursday, the 23rd of November, 1775, as a day of public thanksgiving, the General therefore commands that day to be observed throughout the Army with all the solemnity directed by the legislative proclamation. It is to be hoped, henceforth from that day, that all distinction of colonies will be laid aside so that one and the same spirit may animate the whole. And the only contest shall be who shall render the most essential service to the great cause in which we are all engaged. You are listening to a special Thanksgiving broadcast on the Cavalcade of America, sponsored by the DuPont Company of Wilmington, Delaware, makers of better things for better living through chemistry, and presenting Walter Hampton. Now, we continue the path of praise.
After the Revolution, the path of praise led ever westward beyond the mountains as the sons of New England carried the Thanksgiving tradition toward the setting sun, over the prairies, toward the sea, into the new, savage country. Along the dangerous way, the old traditions took new root. The little red schoolhouse, the habit of freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of worship, until the path of praise had spanned a continent, had reached the western sea. Praise God, preserve us, my King. But for many years, all of the people did not observe Thanksgiving on the same day, and a few states undertook no official observance at all. The credit for the establishment of Thanksgiving as a national holiday belongs to a lady who should be better known to all of us. Sarah Josepha Hale, pioneer woman journalist. Sarah Hale was for 40 years editor of Godey's Ladies' Book, the leading woman's magazine of our great-grandmother's time. In 1847, she began her campaign for a national day of Thanksgiving, and she kept it up year after year. In 1863, finally, she wrote to President Abraham Lincoln.
Would it not be of great advantage socially, nationally, religiously, to have the day of our American Thanksgiving positively settled? Putting aside sectional feelings, would it not be more noble, more truly American, to act nationally in unity when we offer to God our tribute of joy and gratitude for the blessings of the year?
Tradition has it that Sarah Hale carried her plea to the White House itself in 1863, late in the war between the states. If she did, we can imagine the scene in Abraham Lincoln's office.
It is a great pleasure, ma'am, to meet a lady editor. A great pleasure. I wouldn't say that about all editors, mind you, but lady editors, yes, by all means.
Thank you.
Won't you sit down? Yes, here you are.
Well, I don't like to take up much of your time, Mr. President.
No, don't you hurry. There are some 50 people waiting to see me. I'd calculate 49 of them want me to do something I don't want to do. So we have plenty of time. You know, ma'am, and Mrs. Lincoln reads your magazine every month.
How nice. And does she like it, Mr. Lincoln?
Yes, she does. But I'm not at all sure that's a good thing.
Oh? And why not?
Well, you see, Mrs. Salmon Peach Chase, she's the wife of the Secretary of the Treasury. She reads it, too. And it gives both of them notions. Mrs. Lincoln, he sees a fancy dress in the lady's book, and she orders it up. Mrs. Salmon Peach, she's marrying her new rig, and right away she lights out for your magazine and finds something just a little mite more expensive to bring on the cabinet ladies at the next soiree.
Surely you're joking, Mr. President.
No. People are beginning to talk. The newspapers, too. I had a clipping here somewhere. I never can find anything on this desk. Oh, yes, here it is. It's from the Dayton, Ohio Empire. I'll read it to you. It says, the Lincoln Chase contest has extended into the women's department. Mrs. Lincoln has got a new French rig with all the posies costing $4,000. And Mrs. Chase sees her and goes her one better by ordering a nice little $6,000 ring. Go it greenbacks while it's yet today.
But that's ridiculous. Those prices are absurd. I never heard of such a thing.
Of course it's ridiculous, ma'am. And I have been joking. It's a habit of mine. I just wanted to show you why I don't like some editors. They print lies about my wife.
But, Mr. President, the ladies' book has supported you in every move you've made for the past 3 years.
There. I know it has, and I appreciate it, ma'am. Believe me, I do. I try to make a joke of these careless attacks, but sometimes I can't quite help being hurt. At this moment, when we are fighting for our very lives, these people are not above fomenting disunity behind the lines. While men are dying in the field, these little foxes spread disunion at home. You pardon me. Today has been hard. I'm a bit, tuckered.
Poor man, I'll go then.
No, don't leave me. I remember now why you came. You wrote me a letter about Thanksgiving. You want me to proclaim it as a national holiday.
It is a thing very close to my heart, Mr. President. I've worked for it more than 16 years now. I would like to see it done before I die.
I have given a deal of thought to your letter and your editorials. There are those who would say we have little to be thankful for in the midst of this terrible war. You know that, ma'am.
Yes. And I know they would be wrong.
Yes, they would be wrong. I don't know why I'm sure of that, but I am sure. The ways of God toward man are beyond my skill to read, ma'am. But this I know. His will prevails. In your letter, you drew a wonderful picture for me. You made me see a whole nation singing together a song of praise, accepting together with one voice the will of God. Not many voices snarling and bickering and spewing forth venom. One voice. One voice.
That is what I have worked for. So many years.
Why, then, we have worked together. Mrs. Hale, all day long I sit here and listen to people who wish to talk with me. No one is turned away without a hearing. But most of them, as I said, want something I cannot give. And so you can see it does me a deal of good when I can say, yes, petition granted. Your petition is granted, Mrs. Hale.
Oh.
I had already decided to proclaim Thursday, the 26th of November next, as a national day of Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
Yes, ma'am. Thank God.
After Lincoln's proclamation, each president in turn followed his lead. And in 1941, the Congress itself formally set the fourth Thursday in November as the Day of Praise and National Thanksgiving by law. In 1621, the celebration of Thanksgiving brought a sense of brotherly oneness to a tiny colony racked by suffering and torn by dissent. Again in 1775, in the wisdom of General Washington, the tradition of thankful prayer helped to weld 13 jealously separate colonies into a single great nation. Then in 1863, with that nation ravaged again by fraternal strife, the final establishment of Thanksgiving Day by Abraham Lincoln served as a symbol of national unity. And now, today, in times as troubled as any the nation has known, with freedom threatened by huge and malicious force, may we not again make Thanksgiving Day a day of renewal of brotherhood. All of us. Can we not join in a prayer of thankfulness composed for his own daily use by another great American, Benjamin Franklin? This is Franklin's prayer. And for as much as ingratitude is one of the most odious of vices, let me be not unmindful gratefully to acknowledge the favors I receive from heaven. For food and raiment, for corn and wine and milk, and every kind of healthful nourishment, for the common benefits of air and light, for useful fire and delicious water, for all thy innumerable benefits, for life and reason and the use of speech, for health and joy and every pleasant hour. I thank thee.
Our thanks to Walter Hampton and the Cavalcade Players for tonight's story, The Path of Praise. Now, here's Bill Hamilton speaking for the DuPont Company.
You've seen the phrase in print. You've heard it 1,000 times, especially around Thanksgiving. You've probably used it yourself. The United States is the land of plenty. What is plenty? What does it mean? Does it mean that everybody has every last thing he wants? No, of course, that would be downright silly. When we say America is the land of plenty, we mean that more people here in America have more than people in any other country have ever had. We produce more, therefore we have more. How do we do it? Other countries have more natural resources than we in the United States have, and still we outproduce them. What is our secret? The answer seems to be that there is no one secret unless it's what we call the American way of life. An important ingredient of the American way is that Americans are willing to take a chance in order to earn a possible reward. Our people welcome new ideas. Seeing a chance for profit, someone eagerly goes ahead and develops them. That's what happened with the phonograph, cellophane, the electric light, the automobile, thousands of other things. Sometimes it took only a few dollars. Sometimes it took millions, as with products of chemical science like nylon or cellophane. But in every instance, someone in America went confidently ahead with an idea. Can it be that the secret lies in the words confidently and profit? An American manufacturer with a chance to make a good profit on a good product can afford to try out new ideas. And he does it with confidence, because our American way protects the ideas and profits of individuals and of companies. One of many thousands of American business firms, the DuPont Company adds to the American standard of plenty an increasing number of better things for better living through chemistry.
Next week, the star of the DuPont Cavalcade will be MacDonald Carey. Our play, Incident at Lancaster. It tells the story of one of the most exciting escapes in American history. Be sure to listen. Tonight's DuPont Cavalcade, The Path of Praise, starring Walter Hampton, was written by George H. Faulkner. The Cavalcade players were Bobby Fenton as Giles, Frank Reddick as Bradford, Bramwell Fletcher as George Washington, Joseph Bell as Reed, Evelyn Varden as Sarah Hale, and Bill Adams as Abraham Lincoln. Original music was composed by Arden Cornwell, and the orchestra and chorus was conducted by Donald Voorhees. The program was directed by John Zoller. Don't forget next week, our star, MacDonald Carey. The DuPont Cavalcade of America is sponsored by the DuPont Company of Wilmington, Delaware, makers of better things for better living through chemistry.
Draft, America's favorite brand for dishes, presents Joyce Jordan, M.D. In pig Latin, they'd say,
Alibe ime, it say, imply say, underful say.
In plain English, it's this.
I wouldn't be without it for one single day.
And however they say it, they mean the wonderful new Draft for dishes. It does dishes far faster, far easier, far better than the best soap on the market. Try it and you'll see. If you hate to do dishes, you'll love that new Draft. Anemic suds your trouble? Well, just take a little Draft and you'll see suds galore. It's a fact. In the hardest water, every ounce of Draft makes more suds than an ounce of any other product known. Suds so sturdy they cut dishwashing time and work in half. For one thing, Draft suds get dishes cleaner than soap. So clean they shine, even without wiping. Cut grease without hard scouring. Cut it so completely, in fact, even the dishwater never looks greasy, never feels greasy to your hands. And speaking of hands, as we were, the new milder Draft's a real treat for 'em. Draft, you know, never did contain alkali, and now that mild Draft is really kind to your hands. It's wonderfully sneeze-free, too, and every package lasts lots longer, so much longer it washes 1/4 more dishes. No wonder more people use Draft for dishes than any other brand.
Rat Day's a ream day Orpheus Day.
I've tried them all, and there's nothing like it.
So how about you trying it? If you hate to do dishes, you'll love that new dress. Now, Joyce Jordan, M.D. Well, Joyce Jordan's first case in her new office is a tough one. For Sarah, the laundress who came to collect the Jordan wash, collapsed in the office and went into a coma. Joyce, with the help of Dr. Alexander Gray, took over capably and efficiently.
But there wasn't anything we could do for her in the office. She needed specialized attention. So we wrapped the poor youngster in a blanket, and Alex Gray and I rode along with her in the ambulance. I was so relieved to have Alex with me. Sarah looked very small and frail, wrapped up in blankets. More than ever, she reminded me of a hurt child. Alex took care of the details of entering her. So now, Sarah's in bed in a private room, and Alex and I are standing beside her. But she hasn't recovered consciousness yet. How does she look to you, Alex?
Oh, it's hard to say. But we might venture no better, no worse.
I suppose that's most we can hope for. But she's no worse, I mean. Well, what do you know? Here I am back at Hotchkiss.
That's right. But not to stay, worse luck.
Do you think we should have Dr. Tracy in for a consultation?
Yes, but before you ask her, wouldn't it be best to get the laboratory reports on Sarah? Dr. Tracy must have something to work on. She can't tell much by just looking at the girl.
No, she can't. Sarah and I have taken up a lot of your time, Alex.
Oh, that's the way it goes. I drop in at your office to pay my respects, look at the setup. All at once I'm at work. Joyce, do you want to stay alone with Sarah while I run downstairs and see if there's anything on my desk that requires attention?
Yes, I want very much to be alone with her.
Yes, I know, but you keep thinking that she'll come out of it. She won't, Joyce. Take it from me.
I still believe in miracles. If the laboratory reports come in, I'll phone down to you.
Thanks. Now, please, don't count on Sarah regaining consciousness, because it's an empty hope.
An empty hope. No hope's an empty hope, really. If hopes were empty, life wouldn't be worth living. Oh, Sarah, why didn't you stay conscious long enough to tell me the man's name?
I'm never going to tell you.
Sarah? What's Sarah?
Not ever. Unless it can't be helped.
But, Sarah, dear.
This is my affair.
I know, but I want to help you.
Oh, you're too good. It's not right. You shouldn't hear bad news.
Sarah, there's so much I want to ask you. So terribly much. I must know whether you consulted a lawyer. I must know the man's address. I'll go see him myself, Sarah. I'll appeal to him. I'll threaten him. Oh, she's drifted off again. Oh, that must be Alex. Dr. Joyce Jordan speaking. Oh, yes, Dr. Tracy. Oh, so Alex told you about Sarah. Yes, she recovered consciousness for just a few minutes. Yes, she spoke to me, but she didn't tell me the man's name. You're coming up here with Alexander Gray? Oh, good. Oh. You really think it would be wise? Well, you'll promise to call me if Sarah regains consciousness. Thanks so much, Dr. Tracy. He's so wonderful. Telling me I can go home and rest. But she and Alex will hold the fort. Well, that Dr. Tracy is one in a million. Well, I have two good friends, anyhow. Dr. Tracy and Alexander Gray.
Joyce Jordan goes back to her new apartment, which is also her office. She's exhausted, poor girl. Every woman in the world knows what a moving day is like. And when the woman who's moving is a doctor and has an emergency case on top of the emergency of moving, well, enough said. But as Joyce opens the door that leads into her waiting room...
What? Why, Mrs. Wilcox. Oh, Dr. Jordan, I didn't dream you'd be back so soon. Your maid said you'd be at the hospital for another hour at least. I thought I'd have myself under control before you got back. Are you ill? No, I'm not ill. I'm not here as a patient. I haven't any right to take up your time.
Oh, anyone who's in trouble has a right to take up my time, Mrs. Wilcox.
You're just as sweet as I thought you were that day in your apartment. I mean, my apartment.
You were the sweet one to send me those darling pink roses.
I sent them because I hoped we might be friends. You're so sane, so evenly balanced. Your feet are so firmly on the ground.
Well, I'm glad I give that impression.
I envied you so when I met you that first day. You have everything, Dr. Jordan.
Everything? You're so wrong, Mrs. Wilcox. Seems to me you have everything. A home, a husband, and plenty of money.
Oh, what's money?
Well, it helps.
I'd be as poor as a church mouse if my marriage were on the up and up. I'd rather be the poorest woman in the world and be able to hold my husband than be myself.
Well, it seems that in this world no one can have everything.
Dr. Jordan, you're so understanding that I'm sure you won't mind my telling you what I'm up against. All I want is a little understanding.
We all need that at times.
You know, I had high hopes when I moved into your apartment.
You said you wanted to make it into a real home, yes.
I went to such pains so that everything would be in order. I have a new cook, and she prepared a very fine dinner. I had all of Bob's favorites.
Yes.
And then just about 10 minutes before I expected him, Bob telephoned to say he was delayed downtown and wouldn't be home for dinner. Well, naturally, I was sunk.
Oh, yes, naturally.
When he came home, he told me that there had been an emergency directors meeting that he'd had to attend. But one of the directors obviously used perfume and lipstick. He had a smudge of lipstick on his collar, Dr. Jordan, and he reeked of perfume.
And you accused him of...
unfaithfulness. Yes.
Well, he denied your accusations, of course.
It's the horrible part of it. He did no such thing. He asked me point blank what I'd given him to be faithful to. I told him I'd made a home for him at last.
Yes?
He said I was too late, that my timing was bad. He said the girl with whom he'd had dinner... Well, he said she was a real homebody, that she wanted a normal, happy life with a husband and children. I can't have children. I wanted them dreadfully, but I can't seem to have them.
Yes, so you told me.
And then I told Bob that I was going to adopt a baby. And he laughed at me, said I was just talking to gain time, that he'd believe it when he saw a baby in the house.
Just a minute. As I told you, I have a very sick patient, Mrs. Wilcox. This call is probably about her.
Dr. Jordan, while you're talking on the phone, may I go into your washroom and put some cold water on my eyes?
Oh, yes, do. Dr. Jordan speaking. It's
Hello?
right through the archway.
Hello, Joyce.
Oh, what's the news, Alex?
You're a better diagnostician than I am. Sarah regained consciousness again.
Did she say anything important?
Well, she refused to give the man's name. Said she never wanted to see her baby. Joyce, I don't think it's necessary for you to come back here tonight.
Oh?
Yes, even if she does recover consciousness for a third time, she won't be aggressive or emotional.
You gave her a hypodermic?
Mm-hmm. It's best to keep her quiet, keep her mind from working. Well, good night, Joyce, darling. See if you can get some sleep. You need it.
Oh, I'll get some. Don't worry about that. I'm dead on my feet. Thanks a million, Alex, for everything.
Oh, that's all right. It's all in a very good night's work. Good night.
Good night.
My dear.
He's so fine. Poor little Sarah. She should be so happy now. Looking forward to being well and strong. Looking forward to having a baby. Mrs. Wilcox.
Yes, Dr. Jordan.
I don't want to raise your hopes, Mrs. Wilcox, but the long arm of coincidence has been reaching out. That patient of mine at the hospital, the one who's so desperately ill,
Yes.
who's been so badly hurt by life, she's going to have a baby.
Oh, what a lucky girl. No matter how badly she's been hurt.
Well, she doesn't think so. She says she never wants to see her baby. You know, only twice during my career have I taken care of a mother who didn't want her baby. And in those 2 cases, I arranged for the baby to be adopted. Oh, Mrs. Wilcox, don't start to cry again. Don't.
I'm crying, Dr. Jordan, because there's a ray of light breaking through the clouds. I think God guided me to your office tonight.
Now tell me, what's America's favorite for dishwashing? What cuts the time and work in half?
Dress?
Right. If you hate to do dishes, you'll love that new Dress. It's wonderfully improved to do dishes far faster, easier, and better than the best soap ever could. And what is it that gives you the most suds?
Dress?
Right. Ounce for ounce, and in the hardest water, this new Dress gives you more suds than any other known product. And what is it that washes dishes cleaner than soap, so they shine even without wiping?
Dress?
Right. And those hard-working Dreft suds cut grease without hard scouring. Or you can't even see any grease on the dishwater or feel it on your hands. At the same time, Dreft's now even milder for your hands and delightfully sneeze-free, too.
Dress?
Right. It contains less irritating dust than any leading product of its kind. And every package washes 1/4 more dishes. Don't miss it, the new improved Dreft. If you hate to do dishes, you'll love that new Dreft.
Dress?
Right. Now, this is Richard Stark inviting you to listen again to Joyce Jordan, M.D., brought to you by Procter & Gamble, makers of Dreft, America's favorite brand for dishes. It's new, it's improved, it's better than ever. Dreft.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
As we look in on the little community of Pine Ridge today, we find the old fellows in their jot-em-down store. Lum is talking on the telephone. Listen.
Well, this sure is a pleasant surprise, Miss Rowena. Why, sure, Miss Rowena.
Why, sure, Miss Rowena.
Oh, but yes, Miss Rowena.
Oh, but beans, Miss Rowena.
Oh, that'll be just wonderful, Miss Rowena.
Oh, Lord, me.
Yes, Mom. Goodbye. My granny's Abner, guess who that was?
Grover Cleveland.
Now, you recollect that cousin of Ezra Seafrunk's that was here one time before?
Sure, I know who you mean. Are you done talking to her now?
Yeah, sure, what?
Well, take the receiver out of your pocket and hang it up.
How'd that get in there?
Lom, why don't you stay away from her? The other time she was here, you got to bragging on yourself and just got yourself in trouble. And you'll do the same thing again.
I will not. She just got in town, and she's dropping over here to invite me to take Thanksgiving dinner with her.
Why? Did she mention it?
No.
Did she talk about eating?
No.
Did she bring up the word Thanksgiving?
No.
Lom, if you do go over, I'd suggest you pack yourself a little lunch.
Oh, she'll invite me, don't you worry. I'll work the conversation around to where she will.
Yeah, but Thanksgiving will be over by then.
Wait a minute. There she comes across the street now.
Oh, look at that walk.
Abner, you go back in the feed room or any place. You sort of warp my personality.
It was pretty well bent when I first met you.
Now, hurry up, Abner, and don't sit back there and listen.
I wouldn't think of it.
Now, listen here, you little snoop.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, excuse me, Miss Rowena.
Oh, Mr. Edward. Oh, but it's delightful to see you again. But delightful.
I'm delightful, too. But who?
It's so nice being in your quaint little village once more.
Oh, it's just quaint as all get out. Especially around Thanksgiving time with folks inviting one another to dinner.
Well, now that you mention it, Mr. Edward, I was thinking of inviting you over to the Sea Chances for Thanksgiving dinner, but I don't know where I could get any domestics.
Oh, well, turkey's plenty good enough for me.
Oh, I'm referring to servants.
Well, turkey's good enough for them, too.
But I am speaking of the servant problem, Mr. Edwards. You know how one suffers from that nowadays.
Oh, does one? I suffer something stupendous from it.
Of course, if I'd had any sense, I would have brought my chef along with me. The French make by far the best ones, don't you think?
Oh, by far. I had 'em make one up for me the other day.
Oh, do you have one? What's his name?
Who?
Well, your French cook.
Oh, him. Why, French. Let's see. I call him Mademoiselle Alphonse.
Isn't that a rather odd name for him?
Well, he's a foreigner, you know.
Oh, yes.
What time is this Thanksgiving dinner going to be?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not used to entertaining in so small a place as the Sea Chances. My home in London, Ohio, it wasn't elaborate, but it was adequate. 20 rooms and a solarium. What size place do you have, Mr. Edwards?
Oh, it ain't much. Just a little 30-room mansion. But it's home to me.
Do you have a solarium?
No, I never cared much for swimming. What time did you say for dinner?
Oh, I don't know. I'm so handicapped here. Do you realize that I don't even have an upstairs maid?
That ain't nothing. He ain't even got it upstairs.
Why, who said that?
Nobody. That was just the wind. Now, about this Thanksgiving dinner, I'd love to have you over to my place, but I ain't got half enough servants to run the mansion right now, and I wouldn't feel right asking you to come over there and rough it.
Oh, but I'd love that, Mr. Edwards. What time will it be?
Well, Miss Rowena, you see...
Oh, do make it for 7. And thank you so much, you dear sweet boy. But dear sweet...
Well, Miss Rowena... Oh, me. All right, Abner, you shut up.
I never said a word, you dear sweet boy.
Now, cut that out.
How's everything around the mansion?
I told you not to listen, you little eavesdroop.
I don't. You got the only clapboard mansion I ever heard of.
All right, Abner.
Where'd all them servants of yours sleep? On that one horsehair Sophie?
All right, so I exaggerated a little.
Oh, I don't know. Many's the time I saw that French cook of yours standing over a hot solarium. Boiling up a mess of coon and collards.
Abner, don't you realize the jam I'm in? Here I've got to put on a Thanksgiving dinner in a mansion, which I ain't got, with some servants, which I ain't got. This calls for brains.
Which you ain't got.
Thanksgiving ain't but a few days off.
Yeah, I doubt if you could build a mansion by then. Not even with Alphonse helping you.
Oh, I might as well forget the whole thing. Or to kept my big mouth shut.
Amen, brother.
Even if I did have a nice place, I don't know where I'd get any servants. Wait a minute. Abner?
Oh, no, you don't.
Now listen,
No,
Abner.
now listen long.
Abner.
No.
I ain't asked you anything yet.
No, in the first place, I can't cook. In the second place, I can't talk French. In the third place, I wouldn't do it in the first place.
All right, then you can be my English butler.
No. I'm going to be eating at home that day with my own little family. And they couldn't get along without me. Bless their hearts. Left.
Abner, you'll be all done at your place by the time I'll need you.
No.
Well, that takes care of my butler. Now, who can I get for... Wait a minute. There comes Ben Withers. I wonder if he can cook. Hi, Grannies. Come on in here, Ben, old boy. Just the feller I want to see. Can you talk French, Ben?
Well, if you want to learn to speak French, the man you want is Cicero Gundel.
Who's he?
Yes.
Look, Ben, all I'm interested in is getting a French cook.
I see. And you want to know how to converse with him in his native tongue.
No, Ben, I don't...
Right. Cicero Gundel, Mount Ida resident, made an exhaustive study of the French language immediately after the First World War. He wanted to learn the meaning of the words of Mademoiselle from Armature.
Yeah, well, Ben, I don't...
At the end of 5 years of concentrated study, he discovered that the song was written in English. Well, why couldn't he have told that in the first place? Cicero Gundel is an Armenian. Now, the only trouble as I see it, Lum, before Cicero can teach you French, you'll have to learn Armenian.
What? Ben, I told you I don't want to learn no language. I'm just trying to arrange for a Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, well, the place you want to go then is Tom and Minnie's restaurant.
But, Ben, I don't...
Finest short-order house in Mount Ida. Tom and Minnie. It's run by a man named Tom and his wife. Her name is Irene.
Irene? Well, who's Minnie?
Sorry. On Thanksgiving Day, you can get a chicken fried steak there cut in the shape of a turkey wing. Perhaps you've eaten there, Lum.
No, I ain't.
Maybe you hit it in 1937. That was the year it was closed up by the Board of Health.
Ben, all I'm trying to do is put on this dinner for Ezra Seastrunk's cousin, Miss Rowena. But I need a batch of servants to do it. Now, Abner here's been assigned to the butler job.
I never said I'd sign nothing.
And I thought maybe you could be my French chef, Ben.
Oh, thank you very highly, Lum. But I've been invited over to the Walt Bates' for dinner that day. That is, if they don't go out of town.
Wait a minute. Is there a chance the Bates' is going to be gone on Thanksgiving?
I told you, Lum, that would be the place for you to sneak into. It ain't exactly a 30-room mansion, but it's the biggest house in town.
Oh, I wouldn't think of such a thing. Hardly. Yeah, call them up and see if they're sure enough going to leave.
Yeah, all right, sure.
But don't let on why you want to know for her. Hello? Walt Bates speaking.
Say, Walt, this is Abner Peabody.
Oh, just a minute, Abner. I'm talking business with the feller here. Hold the phone a second.
Yeah, all right.
Well, that's the deal then, eh, Mr. Viborg? Yep. And if you folks are leaving tonight, I'll bring my crew in here first thing in the morning and spray this place from top to bottom. Mm-hmm. When we get done, there won't be a living bug of no kind left in the joint. Well, good. And if any new pests get in here, they're in for an awful surprise. How soon can we get back in the house? Well, I wouldn't come back till a few days after Thanksgiving. But if you do have to go in the house for any reason before that, whatever you do, don't light no matches. Blow you clean out of here. Now, remember, don't light no matches, see? Don't worry, we won't, and I'll see you when we get back. Right, so long. Hello, Abner.
Say, Walt, I was just wondering if you're going to need some groceries for Thanksgiving.
No, we're going out of town. Going to debug the joint.
Oh, well, you'll enjoy it there. Have a nice Thanksgiving, and don't hurry back.
And they're sure enough going to be gone, huh?
Yeah, they're going to some place called the Bugler Joint.
The Butte Junction, perhaps.
Well, something like that.
Never heard of it.
Well, looks like I'm all set then. We'll cook the dinner right over there in Walt's kitchen.
Yeah. And build up a nice fire in that big fireplace of his.
Yeah.
Yeah. And light some candles on the dinner table.
Oh, wait till Miss Rowena sees all that. Granny's we'll put on the biggest one blowout she's ever been at.
Don't expect no sympathy from me, Lum Edwards. If you think I'm going to help you with your Thanksgiving dinner, you got another thinker coming.
Hi, Miss Edwards. Miss Peabody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, howdy, Mr. Niles. Yes, it is a happy Thanksgiving for some people.
Say, didn't I hear something about your needing help with your Thanksgiving dinner, Mr. Edwards? Well, I'm your man. I'm your man. You are? Well, bless you, Mr. Niles, and bless Frigidaire for sending you here. Now, what about the turkey? Is that quite a problem? No problem at all. For anybody with a roomy new Frigidaire refrigerator, just prepare your turkey a day or two ahead of Thanksgiving and keep it in your Frigidaire. There's still plenty of room for other holiday fixings. Salad, hot biscuits maybe. Well, salad the same way. Prepare it before you get busy with last-minute cooking.
Doggies, Mom. The Bates has got a nice house here, but don't it seem to you that it smells kind of cuter in here?
Yeah, it does, but I think when we start the fire in the fireplace, that'll clear everything out of here.
You want me to light it now?
No, wait till Miss Rowena gets here. Yeah, she'll get a big bang out of that. Abner, you better get into your buttle suit.
Lum, I ain't going to wear that thing. Them breeches is for a boy. They just come to my knees.
That's where they're supposed to come.
And them socks are women's stockings. White cotton lisle, just like Elizabeth wears when she dresses up.
Now, Abner, stop fussing. Ben Withers is having to wear a worse get-up than you, and you don't hear him hollering.
Why? What have you done with him?
He's done nothing. Wait a minute. There he comes now. He's got it on.
Is that Ben? Oh, where the land, say.
Now, don't laugh at him.
Mom, I refuse to wear this costume. I am severing relations with you, as of now, and that's retroactive from here on.
Ben, it's too late to back out now. Let's see, better check on the victuals. Hey, Alphonse. Oh, Alphonse.
Yeah, let's see what he's got on. Come in here, Alphonse.
Well?
Hey, wait a minute, Lum. Is Cedric Alphonse? I thought the Frigidaire fellow was going to be.
No, he was, but I found out he couldn't talk French.
And Cedric can, I suppose. Cedric, let's hear you say something in French.
Oh.
What does that mean in English?
Seems to lose something in the translation.
Alphonse, how are you coming with your chef work? Oh, fine. I've learned 2 French words already. Oi, oi.
Yeah, but have you got the dinner cooked?
Oh, was I supposed to do that, too?
Uh-huh.
Oh, for pity's sake. Well, it's too late to cook it now. Yeah, you better just run down to Luke Spear's restaurant and buy everything ready-made. And hurry up, Alphonse, because Miss Rowena will be here before long. And Abner, get into your buttle duds.
I ain't going to do it now, Lum. I just plain flat ain't going to do it, and that is final. Lum, there are the seams in my stocking straight.
Yeah, they look fine. Might pull them up a little more. Boy, and your legs look like 2 ropes with knots tied in.
Well, couldn't I just wear a pair of overalls, be sort of a country butler?
No, you're an English butler. Your name's Hawkins.
Abner Hawkins?
No, just Hawkins. And recollect that I'm a royalty. I'm a duke or a prince or maybe even an earl. I don't know.
Now, where did you get that idea?
Well, don't forget my name's Eddard. I go back to the King Eddardses of England, I think.
I wish you'd go back there right now.
Well, now be sure and call me the Earl, and call Miss Rowena something high class like her ladyship, or something that'll show her that I'm used to hobnobbing around with the castle crowd. Uh-oh. Hawkins?
Yes, your Earlship.
I do believe our guest has a roping.
I'll get up and let her in.
That's your job.
I'll flip you to see who does it.
Now, listen, Hawkins. I'm a man of few words. When I crook my finger at you, that means come here.
Well, I'm a man of few words, too. When I shake my head, that means I ain't coming.
Abner, for goodness sake, get that door.
Oh, all right, I'm getting it. Oh, good evening, your high-class ladyship. Won't you, hip into the parlor, old bean?
I beg your pardon?
Tally-ho and Piccadilly.
Hawkins, just show the lady in and let it go at that, please.
And follow me, Duchess. Hey, Earl, look who's here.
Ah, Miss Rowena.
Ah, Mr. Edwards.
Ah, prattle.
Oh, but you do have a lovely place here, but lovely.
Oh, it's all right to knock around in. Keeps me off the street.
Hawkins, I wonder if you'd mind doing something with my purse.
Hello, I don't know what to do with them. Little sheep dip wouldn't hurt them.
Hawkins, just take the lady's fur mackinaw and hang it up in the vestibule.
Yeah, I reckon that's the best thing to do. Get it out of sight. Right-ho, bean, tally-ho, and blimey.
You know, Mr. Edwards, your man has a rather peculiar accent.
Yes, it is peculiar.
What part of England is he from?
Oh, you know, here and there.
Is he an Essex man?
No, the only thing he's ever driven's a Saxon.
Oh, Mr. Edwards, what a lovely old fireplace you have. Might we have a fire in it?
Oh, but indeedy.
A little fire always livens up a holiday, don't you think?
Oh, indubious. Hawkins.
Did you buzz your Earlship?
Yes. Hawkins, will you please catch a match to the logs?
It would be a pleasure indeed, sir.
Thank you, Hawkins.
Not at all. Your Earlship. Got a match on you, Duchess?
Beg your pardon,
Hawkins, find some matches yourself and hurry up.
While you're preparing the fire, I think I'll powder my nose. Do you have an upstairs maid?
Oh, but natural. Oh, Bernice.
Wait.
Hawkins, will you please desist from that gruff horn? And Bernice, will you fetch Miss Rowena a powder puff?
Quite. Never mind. I'll use my own. Oh, is it all right if I smoke?
Yeah, sure. Go right ahead.
Do you happen to have a cigarette lighter?
Yeah, Hawkins, have you found them matches yet?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, here, I think I have a match.
That's fine, Bernice.
I'm sure I must have one in my pants pocket.
Bernice.
What? Oh, my stars, what's the matter with it?
Bernice, you better run out in the kitchen and help Alphonse dish up the victuals. I told him to garnish the plates with a stalk of celery. Now, see that he does it.
Well,
Hey, I found the matches. You want to fire up, Duchess?
Why, yes, thank you.
Hey, dinner served. Oi, come and get it.
Never mind, Hawkins. I'll have the cigarette later.
Yeah, all right, sure. Let's get in there. The grub's on.
Miss Rowena, would you care to walk into the dining room on my arm?
Oh.
I don't believe she can do it.
I I do hope you've worked up a good appetite, Miss Rowena, because Alphonse has knocked himself out cooking up a batch of high-class French victuals.
I hope he has some canapes.
Yeah, I got a can of peas, a can of hominy grit. There we go.
Hawkins, shut up. Miss Rowena, you sit over there, and I'll sit here.
Thank you.
Hey, wait a minute here. You ain't set a place for me and Bernie.
Of course not. You're the servants, you idiot.
Well, I'll be a polka-dotted possum. I dog as if that ain't gratitude for you.
Hawkins, just mind your own business. I'm sorry, Miss Rowena. This servant problem of mine is getting worse all the time.
Yes, I can see that.
Well, let's dive in, Miss Rowena. Oh, Hawkins, come back here and light the candles. It's getting dark in here.
Yeah, all right. Don't know where I got strength enough to strike a match, though, as hungry as I am.
Mr. Edwards, I hate to bring this up, but my food seems to be all stuck to the plate.
That's peculiar. So is mine. That's them French cooks for you. Oh, Alphonse.
And if you'll pardon my saying so, it all smells like shellac.
Did you call me, Monsieur?
Dog, I can't get these matches to strike.
Yeah, I called you, Alphonse. Our victuals are stuck to the plate. And where's the celery stalks I told you to garnish the plates with? Garnish? Yeah. Oh. I thought you said varnish.
Well, this is dreadful, but positively dreadful.
Now, Miss Rowena, don't leave.
Oh, must be one match in here to light.
Miss Rowena, please don't leave. I can explain this whole mess, and I may as well tell you the truth.
Yes?
You're going to hate me, but this ain't my house, and these ain't my servants. I ain't nothing at all, and I know you'll never speak to me again as long as you live, and I don't blame you.
Why, you dear, sweet boy. Going to all that trouble just for little old me. Oh, I think you're wonderful, but wonderful.
Huh?
Dad blame these matches.
And to prove it, I am going to give you a great big kiss.
Oh, no, now, please.
Yes, I'm going
Miss Rowena, don't.
Yes.
I don't. Here's one that lights.
Oh, Miss Rowena. Hi, Granny's, Miss Rowena. Do that again. Lum and Abner will be back in just a moment, but first, here is an important question. When you're preparing Thanksgiving dinner, or any dinner, wouldn't you like to avoid last-minute rush by fixing some things ahead of time? It's extra easy with a Frigidaire home freezer. Stuff a turkey days ahead and keep it frozen. Store several pies, baked or unbaked. Freeze a supply of dough for hot bread. Everything's safe in a Frigidaire home freezer. It's powered by the Meter Miser.
Well, how you feeling by now, hot lip?
Yeah, a little better, but Granny's Abner. When Walt Bates gets back and sees his house, he's going to hit the ceiling.
Hit the ceiling? He'll have to find it first.
The Aldrich Family, based on characters originated by Clifford Goldsmith and starring Ezra Stone as Henry with Jackie Kelk as Homer.
Henry Aldrich.
Coming, Mother.
Aldrich Family.
To an impulsive, wide-awake teenage boy, each new day is like a surprise package. You open it, and all sorts of excitements pop out, as Henry Aldrich knows only too well. The scene opens in a classroom of Central High School. It is the morning of the day before Thanksgiving.
Madam Chairman!
Order!
Madam Chairman!
Order! Let's have some parliamentary procedure. Now, who wants the floor?
I do.
The chair recognizes Charlie Clark.
But Madam Chairman!
Sit down, Henry. Okay, Charlie, shoot.
Fellow committee members, I say the reason we've only sold 20 tickets for our Thanksgiving dance tonight is because we have an appeal to the school spirit of our class. We've got to make them realize Central High is counting on them to put their shoulder to the wheel and get out there and dance. And if that doesn't work, I say let's get Miss Eggleston to give everyone who doesn't buy a ticket a detention. Yeah, sure. Madam Chairman!
Madam Chairman, I object. That's against the Bill of Rights.
The Bill of Rights, the Bill of Rights. Homer, show me one place in the Bill of Rights where it mentions a detention.
It's there, Charlie. Read between the lines. Read between the lines.
Oh, read between the lines yourself. I say give him a detention.
No.
Yeah.
Order! Homer, in the future, kindly address your remarks to the chair. What chair? Me.
Madam Chairman!
Henry, I told you to sit down.
But I've got a suggestion.
Henry, every time you make a suggestion, it leads to trouble. Sit down. I make a motion we hear Henry. Nobody seconds it. I'll second it. You can't. Why not? It's my motion. Okay, so hurry it up, Henry.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Fellow members, I've been listening with a great deal of interest, pro and con, and I'm forced to ask myself, are we whistling up the wrong tree?
Henry, stop dragging in trees and get to the point.
What I mean is every year we go to these Thanksgiving dances, and what happens? That's a good question. I'm glad it was brought up. I'll tell you. I'd be glad to. Why do we? To dance.
What else did you expect?
I'm glad you asked. I say let's climax our dance tonight with a good old-fashioned turkey run, and we'll sell every ticket we've got.
Oh, what?
A turkey run. Just when everybody's getting good and bored dancing with each other, we turn this 25-pound milk-fed, country-raised turkey loose, and the one who catches them keeps them.
Oh, no, that's out.
Why?
If you think I'm going to run out for a turkey in my new dress, you're crazy. Agnes is right.
She is not.
Besides, we can't afford to give away a 25-pound turkey.
That's just it. I know where we can lay our hands on a turkey for as little as $5.
$5? Henry, do you realize what turkeys cost today?
Homer, there isn't a thing to worry about.
You mean you've got a turkey up your sleeve?
Madam Chairman! Madam Chairman!
Sit down!
I want the chair. Look at it this way.
Mother, I don't care what you say. I'm not going in there again. He hates me.
Now, Mary, calm down.
But he does. The way he looks at me out of one eye. Mother, I've never seen anything so sneaky in all my life.
But, Mary, the wash has to be hung out.
And I'll hang it, Mother, but someone else has to go into the garage for the clothespins.
Mary, really?
I'd hate to tell you where he tried to bite me.
He tried to bite you? My goodness.
Goodbye, Alice. I'm leaving for the office.
Sam, I'd like to speak to you first.
Yes, something wrong?
Sam Aldrich, for the last time, he has to go.
Who?
You know very well who. That turkey your brother John sent us.
Alice, he's a wonderful turkey. He's milk-fed.
Father, he couldn't possibly get that disposition from milk.
Sam, you'll just have to get rid of him.
Alice, are you sure we can't use him for our Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow?
Now, dear, you know very well I have a clean, freshly dressed turkey in the refrigerator.
Why not send him back to Uncle John?
No, Mary, that would hurt his feelings.
Uncle John? Father, you can say anything to him. My goodness, the way we joke about his whole family.
Mary, that's only his family. He's very sensitive about his turkeys.
Sam, why not just give it to someone?
That turkey? Mother, who'd take it?
Well, I'm sure there are many families in Centerville who aren't as fortunate as we are. And what better time is there for sharing what you have than Thanksgiving?
Alice, that's an excellent idea. Why don't we give it to Mrs. Dixon?
Of course, Sam. She has those 3 nice children to support.
I'll drop the bird off at her house on my way to the office.
Good. And be sure to put on your old clothes.
What for?
Dear, that suit just came back from the cleaners, and I won't have you killing a turkey in it.
Kill it? I?
Now, Sam, don't tell me you're squeamish.
Squeamish, Alice? Don't be silly. It's just that, well, I don't have a good sharp axe.
How about a hammer?
Mary.
Doesn't Will Brown have an axe?
Yes. Yes, he does. I'll take the turkey right over to Will.
I'll answer the phone.
Mary, is the bird still tied in the garage?
Yes, Father, but when you go in there, be careful you don't bend over. He's very unreliable.
Hello?
Hi, Mother. Mother, if you could think of the best news I could give you, what would you say it was?
Let me see.
The best news of all.
You got an A in Latin.
Latin?
Dear, I'm so proud of you.
Mother, you're confusing the issue. What's Latin got to do with good news?
Very well, I give up.
I sold Uncle John's turkey.
What?
For $5. Agnes was tough, but when I suggested she could change to dungarees for the excitement, she came around.
Around to what?
To a turkey run with Uncle John's turkey.
But, Henry, we don't have Uncle John's turkey anymore.
What? You mean he escaped?
No, dear, your father's giving it away.
Well, gee whiz, stop him, Mother, stop him.
Now, Henry, Mrs. Dixon and her family deserve a nice Thanksgiving just as much as any member of your class does.
But, Mother, they've already paid me the $5. What can I tell them?
Just explain that the turkey is for a very worthy cause and that there's no reason why they can't use something else.
What, for instance?
Well, wieners.
Mother, who ever heard of a wiener run?
But, dear...
Why, I just gotta get busy and dig up a turkey right away. Goodbye.
Henry. Well, my goodness.
Mother, you should have seen it. You should have seen it.
Seen what?
The turkey. He insisted on getting into the front seat with Father.
Oh, my goodness.
And you should have seen them driving down the street with the turkey trying to fly through the windshield.
Oh, dear. Maybe I ought to have let that turkey go to Henry's dance after all.
Homer, did anybody notice I wasn't in study period?
No. But, Henry, you must have been out of your mind to buy a thing like that.
Homer, you're upsetting Felix.
Who?
Felix, the duck.
He was born with a name like Felix?
I don't know, but I had to call him something.
Henry, how are you going to explain to the dance committee? They've already got signs up all over the school about having a turkey run.
Homer, a duck was all I could get for $5. Besides, gee whiz, he's much cuter than a turkey.
He is?
Don't you think so?
Well, hold him up so I can get a better look.
There.
Hello, Ducky Wucky. Henry, he's smiling at me.
How can you tell?
By the look in his eyes. Nice Ducky Wucky. You're right, Henry. He is cute.
Sure. And besides, we're doing whoever wins him a favor.
How?
Gee, every year it's the same old thing for Thanksgiving. Turkey, turkey, turkey. Don't you think they'll enjoy the novelty of eating a duck instead?
Henry, quiet.
What's wrong?
Do you think you should discuss a thing like that in front of the duck?
Oh, gee whiz, I forgot. Open my locker for me, Homer.
Okay. Henry, there's just one thing. Even if the committee says it's okay to have a duck run, how can you?
What do you mean?
Well, a duck doesn't run. It waddles.
It what?
Waddles, Henry, waddles.
Homer, you're crazy. A duck runs as well as the next person.
How can it with its toes stuck together like that?
Look, Homer, I'll put Felix down and show you. There. Now, let's back away.
You'll see.
Here, Ducky Wucky.
Here, Ducky Wucky.
Look at him run.
Henry, that's waddling if I ever saw it.
Oh, boy. Homer, where'd he disappear to?
Right over the lockers. There he goes down the hall.
After him, Homer, after him.
Henry, what about my next class?
Haven't you any school spirit? Our class has $5 tied up in that duck. Come on.
How's it coming, Will?
Fine, Sam. Just a few more turns and it'll be sharp as a razor.
Good.
How did you dent your fender, Sam?
Will, have you ever tried driving with a turkey in your lap?
Look, Sam, he's apologizing. He's kind of a cute little fella. Hello, Turkey Wucky.
Look at him, Sam. He's smiling at me.
Is that a smile?
Of course. Well, there we are. Just feel the edge of this axe, Sam.
That's fine, Will. Fine. Well, go ahead, Will.
Go ahead and what?
Go ahead and use the axe.
What? Nothing doing, Sam. Why me?
It's your axe, Will.
Sure, but it's your turkey.
Well, I know how you hate to have other people use your tools.
Sam, this is one time I don't mind.
Now, Will.
Now, Sam! Come on, Homer. The duck tracks go right around this corner. Oh, boy, look at them.
Well, at least he's easy to follow.
Homer, did you find out how Felix got into art class in the first place?
Well, the way I got it, they were painting this bowl of fruit, see? And the poor little fellow must have been hungry.
He was?
But what happened after that is really Miss Stewart's fault. If she hadn't let out a scream, Felix would never have flown into those paint jars.
At least he could have picked out 2 jars of the same color. Look, red and blue tracks all over the place.
Henry, look. His tracks stop right in the middle of the hall.
They can't. He couldn't disappear into thin air.
Henry, that's it.
What?
He started to fly.
Homer, a school is no place for flying around. There's only one thing to do.
What?
Go into the principal's office here and ask them if anyone's seen a duck.
Henry, you're crazy.
But Felix has to be caught before he does some real damage.
Hey, fellas.
It's Charlie Clark.
Hiya, fellas. Boy, the whole school's sure talking about our turkey run.
They are, Homer. You see, I've got to find them.
Find who?
Wait here for me, Homer.
I wish you'd reconsider, Henry.
Henry isn't going into the main office, is he?
Why not?
Well, gee, I was just in there. I've never seen Mr. Bradley so mad.
What about?
Well, you know that fan in his office?
Yeah.
Well, he had it going, see, and some wise guy threw a whole bunch of feathers in it, and boy, you should see the place.
Feathers?
All different colors. Mr. Bradley's threatening to expel the kid who did it.
Oh, boy, Henry.
Where are you going, Homer?
Stop Henry before it's too late. Henry.
Mr. Bradley will be right out, Henry.
Thank you, Miss Shea.
Henry, I've got to talk to you.
Gee whiz, Homer, don't forget where we are.
Henry.
Miss Shea, have they located that student who was responsible?
Not yet, Mr. Bradley. Oh, and Henry Aldrich would like to speak to you.
Henry.
Quiet, Homer.
Henry, I'm too busy to speak to you now.
But, Mr. Bradley...
Whatever you've broken, just pay for it and we'll forget the whole thing.
I haven't broken anything, Mr. Bradley.
No? Are you sure?
I'm positive. Mr. Bradley, did you know there was something on your shoulder?
Where? Oh. It'll take me days to get the feathers out of this suit.
You had something to do with feathers recently? Oh, Homer, you stepped on my foot.
I did.
Mr. Bradley, that was Mr. Schultz, the janitor, on the phone, and he says those feathers come from a duck.
A duck?
A duck?
Oh, boy.
A live one.
What? Miss Shea, that's ridiculous. A duck has no place in a public school.
But that's what it was. Mr. Schultz said he saw it taking a bath in one of the drinking fountains.
But ducks don't come in those colors.
Well, Mr. Schultz can't explain that part of it, but he says that he knows a duck when he sees it.
Mr. Bradley.
Henry, don't interrupt.
But, Mr. Bradley, if Mr. Schultz could tell us which way the duck went, Homer and I'd be glad to look for him.
We'll find the duck, Henry. And we'll also find out who's responsible for bringing a thing like that into Central High.
We will. Oh, boy.
Getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. While Mr. Aldrich is having turkey troubles of his own, the duck which Henry has been forced to buy for the class turkey run has flown the coop. The scene opens in a hallway of Central High School. It is the same day.
Homer, you mean you saw the duck?
Not personally. But he got into ancient history, see, and started heckling Miss Eggleston.
Huh?
She was reading to the class about Hannibal.
He heckled Miss Eggleston?
She thought it was Toby Smith and sent him home to get his parents.
Oh, no.
Henry, you better find that duck before Mr. Bradley does.
I know, Homer, I know.
Well, gee whiz, I never noticed that before.
Noticed what?
That eagle on top of George Washington's picture on the wall there.
Homer.
What's wrong?
That's no eagle. That's him.
Who?
Felix, our duck.
It is. Henry, he's changed. Where are all his clothes?
Never mind that. Here, Ducky Wucky, come down.
Here, Ducky Wucky. Come to Uncle Homer. Henry, he doesn't trust us.
Well, we haven't time to cultivate his friendship.
Maybe I could knock him down with one of my shoes.
Oh, no, Homer. You might hit George Washington. Felix, you come down here or I'll...
Henry, you frightened him.
Come back, Felix. I didn't mean it. Homer, after him.
Henry, there he goes up the stairway.
Come back. Don't go up there.
Come back, Felix. You'll get in trouble. That's a down stairway.
Hello? Hello, Delaney's Butcher Shop. Oh, how do you do? I'm phoning about... just a minute, please.
Do you know what that turkey just did? Ate a whole quarter of a pound of Mr. DeHaven's candy kisses.
Well, considering that he's going to be somebody's dinner soon, that's the least we can do for him.
Hello.
Hello. Well, I've got the butcher on the phone. Hello, I'm Mr. Aldrich, and I'm calling in reference to a turkey.
Turkey? Yeah. They've been going like hotcakes, but I think I have one left.
No, I already have a turkey.
Oh, you're selling them. I'm sorry, but I can't get rid of the ones I got.
You don't understand. I have a live turkey, and I thought, what would you charge to kill and dress it?
Kill it?
Yes.
Well, I tell you, I'm afraid I couldn't do that.
Why not?
Well, I've just scrubbed my floors.
Mr. Delaney, you're not squeamish, are you?
Squeamish? Of course not. But just because I'm a butcher is no reason for doing somebody else's dirty work.
Now, look.
Goodbye.
But, goodbye.
Listen, Turkey, stay away from those hot water bottles. Will he kill it for us, Sam?
No.
Oh, Sam, you know who might be willing to do it for us?
Who?
Dr. Collins. I hear he's a very handy man with a scalpel.
No, well, we couldn't ask him.
Why not?
He charges $25 a visit. Besides, we'd look ridiculous.
But, Sam, we've got to find somebody.
Anything I can do for you, Mr. Aldrich? Why, Mr. DeHaven, have you had any experience with turkeys? Turkeys, I should say.
You have? Sam, he's our man.
If I do say so myself, we serve the tastiest turkey sandwiches in Centerville. Yes. Well, would you consider... What's that? Mr. Aldrich, is that your turkey? Mr. DeHaven, don't get upset. It was just an accident. Hey, you turkey, get away from there. Yes, get away. Stop eating those pebbles. Pebbles? Those are bath salts, Mr. Aldrich. Bath salts? At $3 a bottle.
I'm not sure I can take the time to eat lunch. Have you seen Henry here in the cafeteria?
No, and can't you even sit down long enough to hear what happened in gym last period?
Something happened?
Sure, we were playing volleyball, see? And right in the middle of it, this bird tried to get into the game.
A bird? Agnes, was it anything like a duck?
No, it was different colors. More like a parrot.
Oh, boy.
And the girls were all brown.
What have I done?
That's okay, kid. That's okay. But try it once more and I'll slap your face.
Agnes, I didn't do anything.
Don't kid me. There isn't anybody close enough to pinch me except you.
Pinch you? I pinched you?
So you admit it.
Homer, did you have any luck?
No.
I almost had him. I trailed him to orchestra practice, see? And he flew right into Albert Harris's tuba.
Why didn't you grab him?
Before I had a chance, Albert blew him out.
Blew who out?
No one, Agnes. Just someone.
Henry, I certainly want to apologize.
Apologize, Agnes?
For being against your turkey run.
Well, now that I think it over, Agnes, maybe you were right.
No, I wasn't. The dance tickets are going like hotcakes.
They are?
Sure. Everybody's hoping to catch the turkey.
They are?
I hope it's a fast one. The whole track team just bought tickets from me.
Agnes, look, about that turkey.
Henry Aldrich.
What's the matter?
Are you looking for a slap, too?
Well, what did I do?
I suppose you didn't pinch me.
Gee whiz, no.
Oh, so it was you again, Homer.
Agnes, I give you my word.
Well, somebody pinched me, and I dared him to try it again. What did you say?
Homer.
Where is he?
Under the table. Get down there and grab him.
Hey, cut it out.
Here, Ducky.
I got him, Homer. I got him.
Henry, let go of my hair.
There he goes under the next table.
Who's under our table?
Excuse me. Cut it out, you.
Hey, watch your feet.
There he goes under the next table. Who's the wise guy? Homer, I see him. I can't get by this guy's feet. Hey, lift your feet, you. Lift your feet.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, boy.
Hello, Mr. Bradley. Are those feet attached to you?
They are. Stand up, please.
Mr. Bradley, I know you won't believe this, but I was really under the table on school business.
You don't say. And what school business would take you under the teacher's lunch table?
The teacher's table? Gee, how do we lose our direction like that?
Oh, boy, there he is.
Get that duck! Somebody get that duck! Just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment, everybody. Just a moment. Not Henry. I think I'll go upstairs and take a hot bath and lie down.
Yes, dear. Did you get the turkey to Mrs. Dixon?
Yes, Alice, I got it to her.
Good.
And before I forget, here's something for you.
Well, thank you, Sam. What is it?
Bath salt.
Bath salt? But, dear, why only half a bottle?
Mr. DeHaven made me a special offer I couldn't say no to.
Well, thank you, dear. What did Mrs. Dixon say, Sam?
Say?
When you gave her the turkey.
Alice,
Hello, Mother. Hello, Father.
if I don't go upstairs and get a bath right now, the water will turn cold.
Henry, why are you coming home so late?
Why, there was a little cleaning up at school I had to do.
Well, dear, you better go upstairs and start getting dressed for dinner if you want to get to the Thanksgiving dance on time.
Well, I'll tell you, Mother, that dance has sort of been postponed.
Really? Why?
Well, the student body's so worn out, they're in no shape to dance.
Worn out?
Yeah. From sort of a duck run we had in school today. So we decided to postpone the dance until Christmas.
Christmas?
At first, but on second thought, we decided the whole school might not be back in shape even by Christmas. So instead, we're going to have an Easter egg roll dance.
Well, that sounds lovely.
And, Mother, when Easter comes around, do you suppose Father might be willing to advance me $5? You see, the class is kind of depending on me to provide the eggs.
Alice!
Well, I'm coming, dear.
I wonder if duck eggs are cheaper.
What is it, Sam?
Alice, do you mind if I borrow those bath salts?
Of course not.
I'd like to get a little pleasure out of what happened today.
Fine. And would you answer the phone, please, while I start dinner?
All right. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Aldrich. This is Mrs. Dixon.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Dixon?
Mr. Aldrich, the reason I'm calling, well, you see, I found a beautiful turkey tied to my back porch not more than half an hour ago.
Well, somebody probably wanted you to enjoy a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, it was very kind of them, but the point is I don't need it. My children found a lovely duck in school today.
Duck?
Yes, and practically all plucked, too. And, Mr. Aldrich, there's no one I'd rather see have this turkey than you.
Me? But, Mrs. Dixon...
Oh, he's a wonderful bird, Mr. Aldrich. All you have to do is kill him.
Now, wait a minute.
Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with your favorite youngster, his family, and his pals. The Aldrich Family, starring Ezra Stone, is written by Clifford Goldsmith.